And you saw he did put up some numbers last year with Ron Day, but now he takes over. He's going to get his first start tonight. It's Western Michigan and Wisconsin coming up next in the season opener from Camp Randall Stadium.
No other weekly financial...
Camp Randall Stadium in Madison, Wisconsin for Western Michigan against number 5 Wisconsin. The Badgers' highest ranking in the preseason ever. Let's take a look at the series history. These clubs have met before, but not until way back in 1988, where the Broncos won the first game of their series against Wisconsin. Here in Madison, 24-10. Wisconsin leads the all-time series 2-1. The Broncos bring in fourth-year head coach Gary Darnell. They had a fine season a year ago in the MAC at 7-5, going all the way to the conference championship game before losing a heartbreaker against Marshall. And, of course, Barry Alvarez returning to the sidelines here in Madison for the first time since early last year because of the knee surgery. His 11th year at Wisconsin, 70-win plateau. And we are set to kick things off as Western Michigan will kick off with the Wisconsin Badgers. Will receive this one. Michael Bennett back deep in the end zone, and it's going to be a touchback to open things up. It's going to be Wisconsin first and 10 at the 20-yard line. And here are the Wisconsin lottery lineups. First taking a look at the Wisconsin Badgers. Brooks Bollinger opens up at quarterback with Bennett and Chad Coons in the backfield. Brooks Bollinger, of course, 8-0 as a starter, has never lost. Nick Davis will not be in that starting lineup for Wisconsin. There's the tight end John Sigmund, and Lee Evans gets his first start, filling in for Chris Chambers, who is injured. Casey Ryback, the All-American from Sturgeon Bay, anchors that line with Ferrario and Costa, and some changes at the tackles that we'll tell you about. Bennett, first carry as a Wisconsin Badger starter, gains about 7 yards. Let's take a look now at the Wisconsin lottery defense now of Western Michigan. There's Pike, Karstens, Herring, and Ellsbury across that front line. And the linebacking crew, Mario Evans, the big player for the Broncos, Soldano and Moore. And the secondary has got a good one there, and Ronald Rogers in. Jermaine Lewis, who transfers from Wisconsin Oshkosh, a Division III school. Second down and 3 for Wisconsin. Bennett carries again, first down. Across the 30 to the 33-yard line. So 2 straight carries for Bennett, and people wondered, Randy, about the philosophy. Well, you open up with 2 runs.
Well, I think that's not going to change with what's been successful for Wisconsin in the years past. They want to come out today and show that they're still going to win games running the ball. Though the number has changed and the name has changed from Ron Dane, Michael Bennett, they're going to give him the ball what they like to 25 or 30 times, and so far they're on track to do a lot more than that.
Now a first and 10 from their own 33-yard line. Conroy White in at one receiver, number 9 for Wisconsin. Bollinger rolls to his right, looking for a little running room and chased out of bounds after about a 5-yard gain up at the 38-yard line.
Craig, one of the changes you may see with the Wisconsin offense this year is because Bennett is more of an outside runner instead of an inside, Bollinger's going to have to make some plays getting to the outside as well. Here, play action may not work as well because the defense isn't going to be sucked inside like they had been with Ron Dane, so Bollinger's going to have to use that athletic ability and speed to get to the outside as he did that play.
Josh Jakubowski gets his first start at left tackle. He's backing up Ben Johnson, but Johnson serving his first game suspension today. There's Bennett again as he crosses the 40-yard line. And that'll set up 3rd and short for Wisconsin.
Wisconsin thinks it's vital that they get good yardage on 1st and 2nd down. Western Michigan moves their defensive front 7 a lot, especially their 4-down linemen. They'll shift, they'll move, they'll slant one way. If you can get 2nd and short, 3rd and short, then you can keep them from blitzing, and with Wisconsin's size advantage, that should work well for them.
3rd and 2 as the clock rolls here, the first opening moments of the first quarter of the season opener. Wisconsin just past the 40. Bollinger back to pass and dumps it off to his big tight end, Dag Retzlaff. First down again, Wisconsin. So a couple of runs here and there, and then the quick pass. And Wisconsin moving the chains. Let's take a look at now the Dodge Challenge keys to the game, Brandon.
For Wisconsin, offensively, no turnovers. They've got better ability if they can keep possession of the ball. Secondly, don't give up big plays to this Western Michigan wide open offense. And because of the suspensions, they need to focus on this game.
So far, so good for the first unit. Ballinger back to pass on 1st and 10. Rolling to his right. Crosses midfield, still on his feet. Picks up about 8 yards down to the 45-yard line, crossing into Bronco territory.
The more times the Badger offense can let number 5 make the decisions, the better this offense is going to be. Little sprint action right here, comes out, nothing open, doesn't force the ball, tucks it away right here as he gets into some traffic, yet does a nice job of picking up 8 yards. Even though he's only a sophomore, he's gained a world of experience. He doesn't have the number 33 to hand it off to, but he's the leader now on that offense, and the more they let him make those decisions, the more successful this offense will be.
Marty Herring, the nose guard, limped off for the Broncos, so he's out. Bennett straight ahead. Good game, crossing the 40-yard line down to about the 37 of Western Michigan.
Craig, we talked a few minutes ago about the size advantage Wisconsin has. The heat is going to be a factor there, even though the Badgers have players that are suspended. Here you can see they're just pushing that Western Michigan defensive front off the ball. And if that defense is on the field for a long period of time, they're already undersized. They're going to get worn out. Today's heat is really going to have an effect. So maybe the fact the Badgers have some suspensions, Western Michigan undersized, it could cancel each other out.
There you saw the numbers on Bennett from a year ago, rushing for nearly 300 yards, scored 4 times. 1st and 10 at the 37. Bennett to his left, and he is tripped up on the line of scrimmage by Terrence Moore. And our Dodge Challenge look at Western Michigan keys to the game.
Well, offensively, they need to create the big play. They have a wide open offense. They need to get some cheap, quick scores. We just talked about this point. They need to keep the UW drives short, give their defense a rest, and get them off the field. They can keep the game close early and extend that, then they're a play or two away as you get late into the game. And as you know, at that point, anything can happen.
Gary Darnell in his 4th season at Western Michigan. He's got some ties to Barry Alvarez in Notre Dame. We'll talk about a bit later. 2nd and long, Ballinger in trouble. And he is brought down, loss of about a yard.
Brooks Ballinger brought down.
So Wisconsin's offense.
Now, you often think about pass protection being with the offensive line, but here you can see sometimes the backs need to get in there. Right there you see Bennett and the left tackle going to the same guy. Nobody picking up the blitzing linebacker, and therefore he comes in untouched, disrupts the play. Your passing game with your protection involves your backs as much as your linemen. That time a screw up.
So Wisconsin's now 1st, 3rd and long of the young season.
Look for Western Michigan to bring more than just their front 4.
Here they come. Ballinger in trouble again. He's got to run out of there, finding some running room up near 1st down territory. Looks like he's going to be about a yard or so short as he crosses the Broncos' 30-yard line. Brandon Brown brought him down.
Nice job, Craig, of Ballinger finding the opening and running. See, the protection breaks down, and he has to step up early. And I've got to think Alvarez is a little uncomfortable with his starting quarterback taking this many hits that hard this early in the game.
Only 5.5 minutes into this one. It is hot in Madison, as you can see off the top of the forehead of Wisconsin's head coach.
See it off the top of the back of the head.
There you go. And there is a timeout on the field now. 4th down and 2 for Wisconsin at Western Michigan's 29 when we come back to Madison.
Hi, I'm Phil Mickelson. Everybody can use a good tip. Thanks, Phil. And I give my best tips only in Golf Digest.
Golf Digest is the golf magazine. Information on equipment, the best places to play, easy to follow tips, and instruction from the best teachers and players in the game.
Call 800-543-6200 and get your first issue risk-free. That's 12 issues for only $19.77, including this handy pocket tips booklet. Call right now and get this instructional video free.
I'm telling you, it's the best tip you'll ever get.
After the game, watch a special edition of Fox 17 News at 10.
He's looking for a woman
You're very pretty.
who's attractive, single, and dying to meet someone. The Watcher. Rated R. Starts September 8th.
The 2000 Honda clearance. It happens only once a year, and it's over before you know it. We live in rare times, don't we? The 2000 Honda clearance. Seize the moment.
Arby's $5 value roundup. It's an incredible deal. Any 2 chicken sandwiches, 3 beef and cheddars, or 4 regular roast beefs for just $5.
Welcome back to Madison. Wisconsin calling a timeout as they're set to go for it on 4th and 2 from Western Michigan's 29. Coons and Bennett in the backfield. Bollinger trying to find some running room, and he's stacked up by Mario Evans, coming up with a big defensive play for Western Michigan, and that's a big statement for the Broncos early, Randy.
Big statement is right, Craig. Bollinger had no chance. Watch the penetration. Watch the white jerseys deep into the backfield. When you run the option, you've got to give your quarterback the line of scrimmage so that if he cuts up, he doesn't have far to go. When you get penetration and you force that quarterback back, it disrupts the entire timing, and that time Bollinger had nowhere to go.
So Western Michigan takes over for the first time offensively, and you can see how they are lining up, and we expect to see a lot of this.
This is what is commonly known as the Daffy Duck formation here, as Kevin Cosgrove, the defensive coordinator for Wisconsin, calls it, and this is not something that you'll see once or twice. Western Michigan will continue to toss strange things in there until you show them you can stop it.
That's one thing. They'll try to keep your defense honest on the offensive side of the football, and here's one of the switches. Wisconsin, of course, knowing this is coming, but you have to deal with it come game time. Jeff Welsh back to pass, going for it all. That one is overthrown to Corey Alston, and a flag comes in on the play. Corey Alston, the All-American candidate.
B.J. Tucker filling in for Jamar Fletcher, who is not playing tonight. That time Alston got behind Tucker, though it looked like it was pretty good coverage, and you could see just the end of that contact right there. There you see the
Pass
contact.
interference on a defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
Well, when you're not expected to start and you get called upon with a few hours notice, and then the very first play they go at you and you get a penalty, we're going to test his nerves early.
So the penalty sets up the ball nicely near midfield for the Broncos.
They're playing with a little confidence right now. A nice 4th down stop. They get the ball. First play, a penalty. Now they've got excellent field position.
And the handoff to Sanford. Robert Sanford, 4th leading active rusher in the NCAA right now, 2,648 yards coming in. He's a Doak Walker candidate. And Western Michigan has some explosive skilled players. Let's take a look at the Wisconsin Lottery starting lineups for Western Michigan. Jeff Welsh, the quarterback. Robert Sanford and Scott Selzer, the fullback. And the receivers, Steve Neal and Corey Alston. The big wide receivers, Neal, some impressive numbers coming in, and here's the offensive line. 2nd down and 7. Welsh back to pack. Ball loose on the ground. It looks like Wisconsin pounces on it. It's going to be Wisconsin football as Ben Herbert recovers the fumble. So the first turnover going in Wisconsin's favor as they get the ball in Bronco territory. Welsh had the ball poked away, and it's going to be Wisconsin football when we come back to Camp Randall Stadium.
In anticipation of your unbridled success as a Wall Street Journal reader, how to keep your children humble. Give them chores to do around the house.
Hop to it! Time is my money!
Encourage them to play sports. A few tips on being madly successful from the Wall Street Journal, full of insight on making it big. Get the Journal for just 57 cents a day for 13 weeks, 25% off the regular rate. The Wall Street Journal.
Call 800-249-8900. That's 800-249-8900.
I just want to celebrate, yeah, yeah. When people hear big news, well, it tends to cause a stir. Like how during the Ford authorized clearance, you can lease a new 2000 F-150 XLT 4x4 with off-road package, no less, for a mere $299 a month for 24 months. And there's just $38.50 due at signing. That is big news. I just want to celebrate, yeah. Don't miss out. See your neighborhood Ford dealer before the Ford authorized clearance is over.
The Broncos invite you to be a part of our football family.
Our coaches and student athletes are committed to making a difference in West Michigan. Community service is our way of thanking you for your support of the Broncos.
You can't have a championship caliber program without championship caliber fans. I want to thank you for the support that you've shown us, and I want to invite you to all the excitement that will be here in the year 2000.
Season tickets give you a great seat at every game for just $65. Join us at Waldo Stadium.
8:32 to go in the opening quarter between Wisconsin and Western Michigan, and the Badgers come up with their first break of the game. A fumble recovery near midfield. We'll see what they can do with it now. 1st and 10 at the 46. Western Michigan's defense stalled Wisconsin's first drive. Bollinger fakes it, going back to pass. Looking long this time to Evans. Leaps in the air and catches the ball at the 8-yard line.
Coming into this season, Greg, Lee Evans was going to have to contribute with Chris Chambers getting hurt. He was called upon to step up and start. And now with Nick Davis being suspended, he's really the only go-to guy out there. He's got tremendous ability. Watch him go up, catch that ball at its highest point, knowing he was going to get hit on the way down. Bollinger does a nice job leading him away from the defender and giving him that chance to go up and catch it.
Big pickup for Wisconsin now, sets up 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line. Bennett crosses the 5 down to the 4. Michael Bennett with that explosive speed, a Big Ten sprint champion, fastest athlete in the Big Ten. But he's got to learn how to control that speed a little bit playing the running back position.
Well, I think that's something that you're going to have to find out as the game and the season goes on. He's got very good size. He's 5'10", 200 pounds, and he's got a lot of that speed. Though he's a better outside runner, he still does run inside very well. Much different runner than Ron Dane. Hits the hole much quicker. Maybe doesn't have the quicker feet to adjust where he's running, but hits it faster.
2nd and goal from the 4. Bennett lowers his shoulder and plunges ahead for maybe a yard or two down to the 2-yard line. So now a big 3rd down and goal from the 2 coming up for Wisconsin.
Craig, this is where you just need to look at your offensive linemen in the huddle and say, our defense got us great field position. We made a play and got it down here. Last time we had 3rd and short, 4th and short. We didn't make it. This is where the offensive linemen have to want it more, and they have to show that. This is where your offensive linemen get the ball into the end zone, not necessarily your running back.
3rd and goal. Barry Alvarez watches on from the sideline. Wisconsin now his club a chance for 6. Bennett again gets the handoff, but I'll tell you what, credit that Bronco defense up front once again stopping Wisconsin.
Did a nice job again defensively, just bringing more people than the Badgers had to block. Slanting to the left side of your screen there. Here you have too many people on the outside. You see their free safety, Jermaine Lewis, number 11, getting in there first, followed by Anthony Alsbury, and not enough guys to block, and Michael Bennett not having the momentum to run him over.
How pumped up must Jermaine Lewis be, playing at Wisconsin Oshkosh, transferring, sitting out last year, being a key member of the Broncos scout team. And Wisconsin gets the field goal. Vitaly Pisetsky, so they're on the board first. And the Broncos got to feel pretty good right now, limiting the Badgers to only 3 points here in the opening quarter. 5:55 to go. We're coming back to Camp Randall in a moment.
Here's what you've been waiting for. Denoyer Chevrolet's Closeout Blowout. Save $3,000 on a Venture minivan. Save $6,000 on a new Silverado extended cab pickup. Hurry, take advantage of the Closeout Blowout at Denoyer Chevrolet, Kalamazoo.
Advance USA, getting you there is why we're here.
Your car doesn't need to be a classic for you to get that great Lentz USA service. Whether you need new shock absorbers, brakes, a muffler, or wheel alignment, Lentz USA gets you back on the road quickly and safely. See Lentz USA today for great summertime savings.
Advance USA, getting you there is why we're here.
Sleep is a necessity. Luxurious sleep is a choice. Now is the time to choose, because now at Art Van, you'll save 50% on every luxurious Stearns & Foster mattress and get 0% interest for 2 full years. Plus, there's no down payment. You can buy today and start sleeping in luxury tomorrow, because Mattress Express guarantees free next day delivery or your mattress is free. Choose Stearns & Foster bedding from Art Van. Save 50%, get 0% interest for 2 full years and make no down payment. But only for a limited time from Art Van.
Here's what you've been waiting for. Denoyer Chevrolet's Closeout Blowout. Save $2,700 on a new Cavalier. Save $2,400 on a new V6 Malibu. Hurry, take advantage of the Closeout Blowout at Denoyer Chevrolet, Kalamazoo.
Feel pretty good as you take a look at Bennett's cheering section. Of course, they're not intimidated. A year ago, they went down to the swamp in Florida, Randy, and put up a pretty good show against number 4 Florida.
Put up a great show. Hung in the game. We're down only 31-26 before Florida wore them out and wound up pulling away. But they weren't intimidated, and they've shown that same resiliency here today.
Sean McDade on the return for Western Michigan, and he's up near the 20-yard line, and that's where Western Michigan will take over on their second offensive possession. Here's Wisconsin's defense across that front line. Kalachis, Malik, Bryant, and Favre, very experienced 3 seniors among the group. Roger Knight, Nick Bryson, and Bryson Thompson actually is serving a 1-game suspension starting tonight. Jamar Fletcher not in there as well. Mike Eccles faces a 1-game suspension due to that shoe store scandal, if you will, coming up, but not tonight. He's in the starting lineup. Pass is complete for Western Michigan as Welsh gets it in a first down. That pass is complete to Micah Zool.
Jeff Welch has had plenty of time to throw the ball. The times he has dropped back, he had the long one that was incomplete, and then the pocket collapsed on the fumble, but that was after he had plenty of time to look over. And this Badger defensive front 4 has got to put pressure on him, because they're going to need to keep 7 defenders back to cover all these receivers running around the way they do this.
Big test for Wisconsin's defense. More and more they seem to face teams with this wide open offense. And there's a false start on Welsh's part. Looked like he started backing away before the ball was snapped.
I think you see some of the jitters that he faces, making one of his few starts here, taking over for a graduated quarterback last year. That was one of the questions that the Badger defense had, was last year their quarterback, if your defense made a mistake, he'd find that mistake and he'd exploit it. Right now, they don't know if Jeff Welsh can do that, and Gary Darnell doesn't know if his quarterback can do that. He's going to find out in a hurry here, though, because the Badgers are going to try and put the pressure on him.
Welsh taking over for Tim Lester, the record-setting quarterback at Western Michigan, gone to graduation. Here's the handoff on 2nd and 15, and once again a flag down on the field, and it looks like this is going to go against Western Michigan again, although they're pointing towards Wisconsin.
I think the Badgers jumped into the neutral zone, and if you're a quarterback and you screw up and you get the penalty, you can control the cadence. What better way to get that 5 yards back than to draw the defense off?
And so they get the 5 back that way on the freebie. Threw the whole line off, Randy.
Through the whole line. Looked like it was Favre that may be the one getting the most attention in the film session. Again, good field position for Western Michigan. Ball on the 35-yard line and a first down. With this kind of field position, you open up that offense. You're not afraid to take some chances.
Once again, now we're at first down this time, back to 1st and 10 from the Broncos' 35-yard line. Welsh taking his time. This time hands off. Sanford with it ahead for about 4 yards. There's Jason Doring, the hard-hitting safety for Wisconsin. Second year in a row, he's garnered the captain title at Wisconsin.
What a compliment for a former walk-on, one of the best players in the secondary in the Big Ten. A super hard hitter, but yet he's got excellent coverage ability. Good range, really was a cornerback that moves over and plays free safety. So a former walk-on, two-time captain, what a compliment.
Second down now and 6 from the 39. Welsh pumps once and throws this one out of bounds, intending it to Steve Neal, who's the All-American candidate. Western Michigan's career leader in receptions, yards, and touchdowns, and we haven't called his name yet early on in this one.
Nice job of coverage by Joey Bozay that time, not giving the inside away. A little quick rhythm, pump fake by Welch. Neal was going deep. Bozay wasn't fooled on it and stuck with him step by step.
3rd and 6. This was one of the games where we looked for Jamar Fletcher and Neal to match up in a pretty marquee matchup, but that's not going to happen tonight. 3rd and 6. Welsh back to pass, rolling out of the pocket, plenty of running room. Puts his head down. It looks like he may have just gotten the first down. It's going to depend on the spot. Might be just a tad short. Doring there again.
Pretty good coverage in the secondary. Welch vacates the pocket here a little quicker than he has to. His quick rhythm passing, he could have maybe stood in there, got that ball off. Once you decide to go, though, he ducks that head. Doring does a nice job coming up, and I think you're right. I think he's going to be a little short. Take a look at Eccles on Neal. Pretty good coverage the whole way, and that's one of Mike Eccles' biggest strengths is his recoverability. He can take some chances at cornerback because he's got such great speed to be able to recover.
And they're about a foot short of the first down. And so that's going to force a punting situation for the Broncos.
It looks like they're discussing it on the sideline, but clearly I think you need to kick this ball away. You're undersized in your offensive line, and I think you can't afford to give the Badgers great field position again if this doesn't work out.
Wisconsin only up 3-0. And you risk giving up tremendous field advantage for Wisconsin. Welsh coming back out, though, Randy. This will be interesting to see if they'll just try to draw Wisconsin off sides.
That would be my guess.
Crowd of more than 75,000 getting into it. Well, straight ahead, keeps it and gets the first down. So a gutsy call in the first quarter for Gary Darnell's club.
Boy, it was big gamble. This time it paid off for him, risking giving Wisconsin excellent field position, but by getting the first down, they maintain control, give their defense another series to rest and keep them off the field.
1st and 10, Western Michigan.
Western Michigan letting it all hang out in the first quarter.
Well, that's one of the things you can do when you're a big underdog coming in playing the number 5 team in the country.
Here's a look at Western Michigan's big offense coming back from a year ago, especially Sanford and Neal. And Welsh taking over the duties from Tim Lester at quarterback. Those are the 1999 numbers. Very successful year on the offensive side of the football. Trying to repeat. Western Michigan gets that one.
Welsh's pass complete to number 81, Wolverton.
Marco Wolverton.
Brought down by B.J. Tucker.
B.J. Tucker given lots of cushion that time. Wisconsin coming with the blitz, bringing 7 guys. If you're going to bring 7 and not get to the quarterback, your corners cannot give that much cushion or it's an awfully easy catch and throw.
8-yard gain sets up second down and 2. Into Wisconsin territory for the first time this evening. Welsh bumps once. Big rush by Wisconsin. John Fabre there with the quarterback sack. And that pushes Welch back about 9 yards.
Well, that's where an experienced quarterback has got to get rid of this ball. You can see it's a 3-step drop. If you're not going to throw it right away, when you get 3 steps, you've got to get rid of that ball because your offensive lineman can't hold them out for longer than that. The pop is not there. Get rid of it right now. You never duck it and try and outrun those guys.
Fabre making a nice spin move with that upper body and got right through that line.
He is so strong in his upper body, and he's so quick that both the spin move and the bull rush will work for him.
Quick pass on 3rd down and long. This one to Corey Alston, and only maybe a yard there, getting back to the Bronco 45-yard line. So Wisconsin's defense answers after giving up the 4th and short to keep that drive alive. It comes to an end now.
If you're Western Michigan, at least you've kept your defense off the field. You've given them a little bit of a rest, and your offense has moved the ball. And it's 3-0 at this point. You look to pin them back in their own territory. Western Michigan's got to be gaining a little confidence as this game's going on. They're keeping it close early. That was one of the keys.
Back to receive this punt is Josh Hunt for Wisconsin. Nick Davis, of course, normally back there, and Wisconsin's going to have to make some adjustments early in this season with Nick Davis out for 3 games. Well, the next Badger football game here on MSC coming up September 16th at 6 o'clock. It's Wisconsin against Cincinnati right here on MSC, your ultimate sports connection.
Craig, you bring up a good point. You're obviously going to miss Nick Davis and Chris Chambers in the passing game, but it's the special teams that have been so effective for the Badgers over the last couple of years, especially last year with Nick Davis there. And that's a timing thing. If he's going to be out 3 games, it's going to take a while to get that timing back. That's just not a 1-game insert and pick up where you left off.
You're talking about a good 3rd chunk of the season. Bennett takes the handoff as Wisconsin had it 1st and 10 at the 13.
The other thing you have to look at with some of these big-name players, Fletcher and Chambers and Nick Davis, when you're missing 3 games, a 3rd of the season, a 4th of the season, you have to worry how they're going to be mentally. Chambers is a senior coming in here, Fletcher a junior, picked by some magazines, the best player in the country. How far is that going to set them back? How's their mentality going to be to overcome that and rebound and still have an outstanding season?
2nd and 4 now. Bollinger, delayed handoff back to Bennett. Finds a little running room up near 1st down territory. Bennett with his 9th rush of the 1st quarter. As time is winding down in the first 15 minutes of the 2000 college football season between these 2 clubs. And we'll switch sides. The Broncos have to feel pretty good because Wisconsin with only a field goal here in the opening 15 minutes. We'll come back for the 2nd quarter from Camp Randall Stadium in Madison next.
Greenleaf Trust is focused on your needs.
We'll be accessible to clients at all times, very responsive, very proactive in meeting their needs.
Greenleaf Trust brings decades of experience to the personal administration of your funds. We'll remain independent, ensuring our commitment to you in the years ahead.
The only firm in Michigan that can truly say trust business is our only business.
Greenleaf Trust, financial security from generation to generation.
Recently, the Art Center held a fair for kids to create a unique exhibit of children's art. What if you had known? Would you go out tonight instead of watching TV? Would you encourage your kids to try something they've never done before? Keep in touch with your community with the new Kalamazoo Gazette, where you'll find the New Tomorrow page. It's a daily preview of the best of everything happening in your community the next day. So call now to receive the new Kalamazoo Gazette. It's your community. Subscribe to it.
You can always borrow a truck and move yourself.
I can't believe you called him.
But he's an old buddy.
That you haven't seen in years.
So what? He's got a truck, and that's all I care about.
Or for just a few dollars more than renting a truck, you can call the Movers Who Care. 2 men and a truck. You can always borrow a truck and move yourself.
Now do you believe me? I told you we could make it all in one trip.
Or for just a few dollars more than renting a truck and doing it yourself, you can call the Movers Who Care. 2 men and a truck.
Welcome back to Camp Randall Stadium, Wisconsin, the 5th-ranked team in the country, leading Western Michigan 3-0 as we get set to start the second quarter on a warm, humid evening for football, a rare night game at home for the Wisconsin Badgers. Have not played one here since 1998 when they hosted Purdue. 3rd down and 1 from the 23. Ballinger is taken down, and right away, once again, the defense coming through for Western Michigan.
Well, I tell you, that call right there tells me a lot about what Brian White, the offensive coordinator, is thinking. Stopped earlier on 3rd short, no play action this time, a straight rollout, and sacked in the backfield. 37, Alsbury comes through untouched, looking right at Ballinger, and Ballinger looking downfield, doesn't see him and takes the sack, but 3rd and short. When's the last time you saw Wisconsin go with a quarterback rollout pass and no play action?
Sets up now 4th and 10. Stemke to punt. And a big one. Fair catch called, almost fumbled away about the 41-yard line by Josh Bush. Good field position, though, for Western Michigan at the 41-yard line. 47-yard punt for Stemke. Bronco football when we come back.
On the go, school, work, busy life? Better catch the Express. Centennial Express prepaid wireless phone service as low as 20 cents a minute. Call from anywhere to anywhere. You'll know what's happening and where it's happening. Get connected with Centennial Express prepaid wireless phone service. No contracts, no bills, no surprises. It's prepaid. Centennial Express from Centennial Wireless, your big area, small price wireless phone company.
Where is the next generation of women leaders? The ones who blaze trails and fire our imaginations, who laugh at words like can't and never. Where are they? The same place they've always been, Girl Scouts, where girls grow strong. Call 1-800-GS-USA for you today and mentor someone remarkable.
Chrysler cars and minivans are widely recognized for their style and engineering. And now during the Chrysler 2000 final clearance, get the biggest cash allowances of the year, up to $2,000 on cars. Or you can get over $4,000 in cash and finance savings on minivans. So it should be no surprise they're so well received. Only at your Chrysler dealer.
Welcome back to Camp Randall. Thursday night football, the season opener between Wisconsin and Western Michigan. 14-10 to go. Wisconsin giving up the football to another good defensive play by Western Michigan. 1st and 10 at their own 41. Sanford gets the call. And not a whole lot of running room right there. Here's a look at what transpired. Your first quarter stats. 1 rushing yard for Western Michigan, 46 for Wisconsin, majority by Michael Bennett. Passing yardage, not some big numbers right there, but the big turnover is the key. Western Michigan fumbles away to Wisconsin, setting up the field goal.
Kind of the way you thought the game would go. The Western Michigan offense not on the field a lot, but what that stat sheet there doesn't show is the Badger offense really hadn't done much when they've been able to move the ball. They've been stopped on some key 3rd down plays.
Welsh under a heavy rush, gives it up, has to get rid of that one in a hurry. Intended for Frank Bosworth as tight end.
Nice job of coverage there by Nick Greisen, the inside linebacker, not being fooled by the play action, reading the bootleg. Actually, pretty good fake back here by Welch. Greisen not fooled. Good pressure right there by Roger Knight, and not giving Welch enough time to set his feet and pick his target.
Sets up now 3rd and long, 3rd and 9 from the Bronco 42.
This defense has not had the luxury tonight of putting Western Michigan back deep in their own side of the field to be able to take some chances. They've done a nice job of stopping them, even though they've had good field position.
And that one overthrown, intended for Neal.
I think what we've seen here, Craig, with the Western Michigan offense, it's a little conservative. Jeff Welsh at quarterback only had 6 attempts last year. A little conservative, trying to get his feet wet, maybe get his confidence up a little bit. In Badger defensively has been able to take advantage of that. And unfortunately for Western Michigan, with this good field position, they haven't been able to do anything.
Matt Steffen in to punt. First punt of the night. Heavy rush, short punt. And this one's going to take a nice Bronco roll down near the 22-yard line, and that's where Wisconsin's going to take over. So it's going to be Wisconsin football when we come back. 13-12 to go in the second quarter, and the 5th-ranked Wisconsin Badgers lead 3-0 over the Broncos.
This world-class event is a winner. Toyota's 2000 clearance. Big selection of new Toyotas and big clearance values. Are you ready to go for it? Follow the crowd to Toyota Camry, America's best-selling car, and save up to $2,250. Plus, get 0 down with 0 payments for 90 days. Get to this world-class clearance event now through September 5th at your Toyota dealer.
Connect with your future at Western Michigan University in Grand Rapids. Make contacts. Future leaders advance their careers in Western's nationally known master's degree program. Get connections. Every semester, engineers, educators, social workers, and managers come to Western to improve their skills evenings and weekends. Develop personal networks. Learn from talented faculty and the professional experiences of the area's best students. It's your future at Western Michigan University, Grand Rapids campus.
Sleep is a necessity. Luxurious sleep is a choice. Now is the time to choose, because now at Art Van, you'll save 50% on every luxurious Stearns & Foster mattress and get 0% interest for 2 full years. Plus, there's no down payment. You can buy today and start sleeping in luxury tomorrow, because Mattress Express guarantees free next-day delivery or your mattress is free. Choose Stearns & Foster bedding from Art Van. Save 50%, get 0% interest for 2 full years, and make no down payment. But only for a limited time from Art Van.
Welcome back to Camp Randall Stadium. Again, it is warm and muggy here for the whole summer. Madison has not hit the 90-degree mark, and I think it happened today, along with a lot of humidity, just in time for football, Randy.
I think that humidity is affecting their decision with their wardrobes.
Probably not, to be honest with you. 1st and 10, that pass just out a little bit ahead to Bennett as Bollinger's been feeling some heat.
Good pressure been put on by this Bronco defense. Bollinger threw a pretty nice ball right there. Bennett, usually pretty sure hands. It's the hardest pass and catch to make to a running back. The back's going away from you. Bollinger has to turn and throw it quickly. As you see, he was under pretty heavy duress right there, just a little bit in front of Bennett. Now with 2nd and 10, look for this Bronco defensive front to play all kinds of games, maybe bring a linebacker or two.
Bollinger hands it off. Bennett stays on his feet, crosses the 25. So a gain of maybe 4. Sets up 3rd and long for the Badgers.
Bennett does a nice job of getting by that first wave of white jerseys that comes back there. The linebacker may blitz, the lineman may come free if somebody misses a block. But this Bronco defense is also doing a nice job of flying to the football. They've got some defensive backs, some of their safeties that come up. When they see those linebackers miss the tackle, the gap is not that great. They've been able to shut Bennett down even when he gets by that initial rush.
Conroy, White, Lee Evans, and David Braun, your receivers for Wisconsin here on 3rd and 6 from the 26. Bollinger back to pass. Pass complete to White, and is it enough for the 1st down? And it looks like it's right on the marker.
Take a look and see where the mark is going to be. Bollinger this time, good protection. Plants that step, that foot, and throws the ball. And White does a nice job of stepping up, getting the yardage he needs, jumping up, making the catch, and then tucking it away and holding on. Nice job for a receiver without a lot of experience.
That's what Wisconsin receivers are going to face, though, for the first month of the season.
Well, teams will try and cover them more one-on-one, which will allow them to bring more people. So I think Bollinger is going to face a heavy rush the first 4 or 5 games this year.
Coons gets the handoff the fullback, and he pulls his way up near the 40-yard line. Good gain for Chad Coons.
Greg, back to that last point. That's the kind of thing when you can play some weaker, at least less experienced receivers. You think you can cover them one-on-one, you put more pressure on your quarterback. The way you stop that is you run the ball. Wisconsin can run the ball with the kind of effectiveness that they had on this play. You'll stop those blitzes and you'll stop that pass pressure.
Here's a good look at Chad Coons, the junior out of Bellevue, Ohio. Flagged out of the play. Bennett gets the call. Picks up first down yardage, and another flag comes in out of the secondary. So our crew's going to have to sort things out.
First flag looked like it will go against Western Michigan for encroachment. Second flag generally in the face mask area.
And we also have a Bronco down on the field.
Take a look, see if we can see the offsides. There you see the gold helmet crossing the ball. Take a look at the end of the play here and see if we can pick up what happens. Bennett and...
We have 2 fouls on the defense.
There's the face mask.
Defense. That penalty we refuse. Incidental face mask. Defense. 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. Enough yardage for a first down.
And that's the key. That's why you take the second one, is because the face mask is 5 yards from the end of the run. The offsides would have been from the line of scrimmage.
So it turns out to be a pretty good game for Wisconsin with the run, and the penalty puts him up near midfield. Jared Pike goes out, the defensive end for Western Michigan, shaken up.
Badger offense needs to put this ball in the end zone. They need to sustain a long drive. They've had some successful runs, a couple of key passes. They need to continue to move that ball and finish this drive off with some points.
Bennett keeps his feet moving. Gets about 5 yards up to the 46-yard line as he crosses into Bronco territory.
Not afraid to duck his shoulder and take a hit. Of course, losing a shoe will slow you down a little bit, so you may tend to cut up the middle. But for a back that's known for his speed, Craig, he's not afraid to dish out some punishment.
So he goes out, and the senior Eddie Faulkner comes in. And Eddie Faulkner had some duty with the Wisconsin secondary through the Rose Bowl last year and has played his way back up into the 2-deep tailback. Second down at 6. Bollinger back to pass. Heavy heat, eludes one tackler and throws this one away, and another flag flies in from the offensive backfield. And this one goes against the Broncos again.
That sometimes happens when you have a very elusive quarterback and your defensive lineman, defensive linebacker coming in there trying to make a sack. That quarterback moves quickly. He's not where you think he is. Those hands fly. That happens.
Incidental face mask on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Jim Lapatina, the referee tonight.
Greg, I think that play turned out okay for the Badgers with the penalty tacked onto it, but I've got to say, here we take a look. You can see the incidental face mask right there. I don't think Barry Alvarez is very happy with his passing game and the lack of protection that Brooks Bollinger has had tonight. That is something that needs to be corrected immediately with an inexperienced backup at quarterback, no experience at all, and Bollinger himself just making, I believe, his 9th start. I think that's a problem that's going to need to be addressed, if not on the sideline, but at halftime for sure.
You always hear the word crisp used. Usually that's between the receiver and the quarterback, but you're right, up front things need to be corrected first.
Well, things are going to have to be corrected, but this is an offensive unit that's got a lot of starts with the interior linemen. Ferrario, Rabach, Costa, those guys have started 35, 36, 37 games. Now, some of the pressure could be coming from the outside, and that is, and this is a defense that moves around a lot, but you still have better players in there to pick them up. They're just not doing it.
So the penalty helps put Wisconsin in 2nd down and 1. Bollinger back to pass. Heavy heat again. And he is brought down about the line of scrimmage. He will be short of the 1st down. Once again, that Bronco defense flying around, chasing number 5 all over the turf at Camp Randall.
And this is not a big defense. This is a quicker defense, but a smaller defense. I think that's one reason why we've seen some of these players maybe getting hurt. And some of these things can be cramps also. Some of them have gone down this here. Looks like it could be a cramp. I think he actually ran into his own player here. Let's take a look and see if we can see it at the end of this play here. Ooh, no, that's not a cramp right there. That looked like a left knee that his own player went into, and boy, that did not look very good.
Scott Karstens is down on the field for the Broncos, and we are going to take a timeout as he's attended to by the Bronco trainers. Wisconsin leading Western Michigan 3-0, 9:47 to go in the 2nd quarter.
Peanut butter and jelly on white with crust. Peanut butter and jelly on white with no crust. To kids, this is variety. But you've grown up. You want real choices for your money, like Arby's $5 value roundup. Choose any 2 chicken sandwiches, 3 beef and cheddars, or 4 roast beefs for just $5. So hurry in and you'll get the kind of change you really like. The $5 value roundup, only at Arby's, now that your tastes have grown up.
This is a Fox 17 News at 10 update.
It's been nearly a year since 4 teenagers forced another classmate to have sex for money. Today, they learn their fate. Find out what they had to say about their actions in court. And they're learning how to make the transition from school to work. Find out how on Fox 17 News.
Football, you have to deal with our injuries. Scott Karstens on the sideline was helped off the field, and it's one of those things, Randy, where you have no control over something like this.
Boy, not at all. Hustling after the ball, but oh, you just see that left knee bending away. It's not supposed to bend, and that's one of the fears when you're a smaller team playing a big program. Not that you lose this game, but you have injuries to players that affect you for 2, 3, 4, 5 games.
Bollinger trying to sneak on 3rd and short, and if he got it, not by much. It looked like his 2nd or perhaps a 3rd effort may have picked up the 1st down.
First down, Wisconsin.
And it is a 1st down, and perhaps he bobbles the snap here, Randy.
You can see it's a quarterback sneak all the way, and fortunately, he keeps his knee off the ground there, but as the ball gets wet, the humidity, the moisture that's out there, bobble that snap. Good presence of mind to gain control of that ball and keep fighting forward. Fortunately for the Badgers, that knee didn't hit the ground when he went down to catch the ball.
Good point. The knee's all you need to be down in college football. 1st and 10 at the Bronco 40 for the Badgers, keeping this drive alive. Bollinger staying on his feet, heavy heat. Still on his feet, and he throws this one away. Smart decision.
Nice job by Bollinger to try and make something happen, and then when there wasn't anything there, go ahead and throw it away. And right now, Bollinger's limping around a little bit, but what we've seen is he is the designated leader of this offense, especially in this game with some of their players being out. And he's the one that has been making these plays tonight, whether it be throwing the ball away or scrambling and picking up some key first downs. He hadn't had a tremendous lot of success through the air, but he's making the plays. He's the leader that's trying to take charge here.
And you see the numbers from 1999, very efficient, and that's of course what they want out of him, but perhaps some big plays as well. Ballinger this time going down.
What strange call there, Craig. Your quarterback is tired. He's got a bum ankle from the play before. He's limping back to the huddle. Yet we see the option being called where you put your quarterback right back in the line of fire. I'm surprised he didn't just turn around here and hand this ball off. He's shaken up. He's tired. Here you can see he doesn't even think about pitching the ball. He just takes it and goes down. Strange call that time to put your quarterback in that position.
Terrence Moore, the linebacker, coming in for the solo tackle, and a big loss. 3rd down and 15 now.
Well, you can see Ballinger is winded out there. It's a very hot night. He's been taking a lot of hits and running around. One of the things I found as a quarterback, as camp goes on, you actually get out of shape more because you're one of the only players that doesn't run around every play.
And flag down on the field, stops action here before the snap. And you'd figure a false start out of Wisconsin could push him back 5 more yards. Delay of game on Wisconsin.
And I think that's related to Ballinger not quite having all of his focus on the play at hand right now. He's tired. He's thinking about other things. It takes him a while to call the play in the huddle. And the point I was just making, sometimes you lose some of your conditioning as a quarterback when you get into camp because you're in great camp over summer, but you throw a lot. You run the offense. You're not running routes like receivers or defensive backs or running backs. So you have to actually stay in shape more so than the other players.
And it is a hot, humid night. They didn't have to face that during camp either. This time the handoff, Bennett on 3rd and 20. Gets a couple as he crosses the 50-yard line, but that's about it. So Kevin Stempke comes back out. And the crowd here a little agitated with 7:25 to go here in the 2nd quarter.
Well, Wisconsin had the first down on the quarterback sneak and excellent field position, and this Bronco defense just kept coming at him and pushed him back into a 3rd and long, and Wisconsin almost admitting defeat by a little running play. Ballinger tired. Maybe Bennett stands the best chance of getting it. I agree with the call, but it lets you know what Brian White's been thinking.
Neil Bush calling for the fair catch, and he takes it at the 9-yard line, and he called for the fair catch and started running away with it. He's going to lose the case there. A 40-yard punt by Kevin Stempke.
See if you can catch it. There it goes. Some of those signals can be quick. That time it was clear. I think he realized he didn't have to call for the fair catch. He had a little more room than he thought. Official right on top of it, though.
6:56 to go in the 2nd quarter from Camp Randall Stadium in Madison, Western Michigan, and number 5 Wisconsin. And the Broncos giving the Badgers a game. Wisconsin leading only 3-0. Quick shot along with Randy Rice. First down call goes to Sanford as he scoots ahead for about a 5-yard gain, and deep in their own territory, a good game.
Big series here for both teams, Craig. First time the Broncos have been backed up. Wisconsin's defense now can take a few more chances, can come after Jeff Welch. And if you're Gary Darnell, you're not wanting to do some things with that offense. You have to think twice about how much do you open up with a young quarterback that's already turned it over once.
2nd and 5 from the 15. Welsh back to pass. Finds Bush over the middle for the big catch, brought down by Doring. Not before the first down, though, up near the 28-yard line.
Plenty of time, and if you're going to give a quarterback that much time with these kinds of crossing routes, he's going to find somebody open. Welch looks to his left, nobody there, plants and throws that ball. Throws a nice bullet right here. Nice play. Gives them a little breathing room.
1st and 10 at the 28. looks like he might be changing the call up at the line of scrimmage. Hands it off to Sanford. Crosses the 30 up near the 32, so another 5-yard gain. And on this drive, they're starting to get the run and pass down pretty good.
Well, it's the same running play that they've had success with. You spread that defense out with those wide receivers. A little success in the passing game gets the Badgers thinking that. They back up a little bit, then you let your back pick the hole. Same kind of offensive play the Badgers have had so much success with over the past few years.
Second down and 6 at the 32. Wells drops back. Heavy rush by Favre, and this one thrown over the middle, almost picked off by Wisconsin. Favre, though, the big rush. Greisen there with an opportunity to pick that one off.
Boy, you never want to throw the ball late. Oh, looked like he was trying to dump it off to his back and just threw it too high to Sanford. And fortunate that ball didn't get intercepted. You throw the ball high over the middle. More times than not, that ball's going the other way.
Actually, Roger Knight had an opportunity. Nonetheless, third down at 6 and a big third down. 5 receivers out for Jeff Welsh. Quick pass thrown behind the intended receiver, and Eccles started breaking on the ball. Talked about that closing speed.
He's got good anticipation. He's got good experience in there in order to see what was going on. Here we're going to have a holding penalty against Western Michigan. I think it'll be declined, and the Badgers will force them to punt. Little mix up there that time, though, between the wide receivers and Welch.
So Wisconsin's going to get the football back.
Holding on the offense. Penalty refused. 4th down.
So Matt Steffen steps back to punt for Western Michigan.
He's not very far back either. He's only, it looks like he's 12 yards and not a real quick rhythm punter.
Wisconsin really not rushing though. A great punt as Josh Hunt fields it at the 12. Sets up a return. Still on his feet. Hunt breaks through midfield, and he will go for Wisconsin. Josh Hunt does not even have a name on the back of his jersey, filling in for Nick Davis. And Mr. No Name returns it 57 yards for the touchdown, or I should say the punt was 57 yards. The return 88.
Sometimes you outkick your coverage. A beautiful punt by Steffen. And what a nice job by Hunt setting it up. Breaks the key tackle. And then it's just speed to the end zone. I guess it doesn't matter if it's Nick Davis or Josh Hunt. It's the special teams that work.
Josh Hunt had to switch his jersey after he fielded the first punt of the game, wearing the same number as B.J. Tucker. And B.J. Tucker also playing on special teams for Wisconsin. You can't have duplicate numbers on the field at the same time, so he picks up a Vitaly Pisetsky number on the punt return, and Wisconsin out in front now 10-0.
Piazza in the Mets. Edmonds and the Cards. Fox Saturday Baseball this week.
Someone's got to go over and find out the Bucs' game plan.
Lay it on the line.
Hey, why am I always the guy who has to go out?
Fox NFL Sunday returns this week.
Recently, the Art Center held a fair for kids to create a unique exhibit of children's art. What if you had known? Would you go out tonight instead of watching TV? Would you encourage your kids to try something they've never done before? Keep in touch with your community with the new Kalamazoo Gazette, where you'll find the New Tomorrow page. It's a daily preview of the best of everything happening in your community the next day. So call now to receive the new Kalamazoo Gazette. It's your community. Subscribe to it.
Why are folks so happy right now? Maybe it's because of the big savings being offered at the Ford Authorized Clearance. Like on a new 2000 Taurus or a new 2000 Windstar. Both come with $1,000 cash back plus less than 1% APR, which could mean savings of over $4,000. I just wanna celebrate, yeah. $1,000 cash back and 0.9 APR on Taurus or Windstar. Now at your neighborhood Ford dealer.
The movie could be titled Man Without a Name. That is Josh Hunt, who just returned a punt return 89 yards for Wisconsin into the end zone, filling in for Nick Davis tonight.
Well, he does a nice job of getting back and catching the ball in front of him instead of over his shoulder. Breaks the one key tackle. I don't think anybody else gets a hand on him. Nice blocks downfield.
Josh Hunt, the junior walk-on from Thiensville, Wisconsin, went to Homestead High School. And Pisetsky's kickoff clears the end zone for the touchback. And we talked about earlier how big special teams is for Wisconsin. Certainly, this club needed a spark. This could be it.
Well, and I think that's going to be a test for this Western Michigan offense. They've been playing very well. Defensively, they've been playing well. They've been hanging in there, one play away. Now you're on the verge of, oh, that was a cheap touchdown. It was one that really shouldn't count. That's what you're thinking if you're Western Michigan. They've got 4 minutes, 49 seconds. They've got to get something going and keep this game within reach.
That was the second longest punt return in Wisconsin history. The longest, Troy Vincent, went 90 yards. Welsh back to pass, feels the heat, decides to tuck it away. Gets maybe a couple of yards. Jake Sprague there to bring him down.
That's the kind of play also, Craig, that will motivate your defense. Now you can play a little more reckless, a little more carefree, knowing, oh, one big play doesn't give up the lead. You can start coming after a little bit more. That time, pretty good pressure on Welsh. Defensive backs start taking a few more chances, gamble a little bit more, try and make some things happen.
Second and 8. 5 wideouts again for Welsh this time. No one in the backfield. And that pass is complete to Micah Zool. No room to run after that catch, though.
No, Devery Hughes, number 11, did a nice job. Zool was not his man, but Hughes came off of his man, read the pattern, does a nice job of sticking his head in there, and Zool did a nice job holding on to that ball.
Third down now and 3 from the 27-yard line.
Big third down. Western Michigan needs to get this first down, keep the momentum going for them, or at least keep this drive going. You don't want to give Wisconsin the ball back with some confidence here.
Welsh, and this one is caught by Mobilijah Farragut. Nice pass play, nice catch.
3rd and 3. They didn't go for the first down. They went for the bigger play. It was a nice throw, nice pattern by a Farragut. Turned it into a big play. Not much pressure there. You give Welch time to throw, and boy, he does a nice job getting that ball right out in front.
Good looking tight end, size-wise, 6'4", 230, sophomore out of Detroit. That sets up Western Michigan at Wisconsin's 44, 1st and 10. Have not been able to crack into Wisconsin's territory too many times here in the first half. And flags, obviously we have a penalty there as Wisconsin linemen pointing fingers. Eric Mala came across first. We'll see if he was drawn off.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Well, you hate that anytime, but when it happens on first down, now you give this offense a 1st and 5, and when you're now inside your own 40, you're really letting them do what they want to do and dictate the game offensively, at least on this first down.
It certainly opens up what they can do on short yardage plays. 1st and 5 now from the 39. Ball fumbled perhaps, or
Looked like the snap came up early. I don't think that the quarterback Welch or the rest of the offense was expecting that snap as it came up early. No penalty because the snap starts the play. Looked like Welch dropped it wisely, picked it up and ran with it. Take a look and see if the snap comes up early. Neither of the guards, the rest of the line, nobody's moving. And Welch wisely picks it up and picks up the first down. Fortunate break there for Western Michigan.
Certainly was, and he knew what to do with it as soon as he had it, saw the open hole.
Well, one thing you learn right away as a quarterback, if your linemen don't know the snap count, they're not moving, you better be moving. You're not going to stand there and watch what happens.
Ball now at the Wisconsin 33. 2:45 and counting. And Neal finally catches his first pass inside the 10-yard line of the Badgers. Steve Neal, Western Michigan's career leader in receptions, yards, and touchdowns.
Broncos going downfield, picking on the cornerbacks. Good time to throw the ball and delivers a strike. Excellent route. Really not much Mike Eccles could do there. He had pretty good coverage on him. The ball was just thrown in the right spot. We had a question how this offense would respond after that special teams touchdown, and I think they've done a great job so far, but they need to finish it. They need to get the ball in the end zone here.
And now his top three receivers go out. Alston, Bush, and Neal go out on this play. And the Badgers on defense will call a timeout here on 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. Steve Neal's last play goes for 24 yards to set up the 1st and goal.
Sometimes you run the wide open offense, not a great running game. This is where you run into trouble. Defense tightens up, takes a step or two closer to the line of scrimmage. Things happen much quicker. That's where the Badger defensively should have an advantage.
Well, this game is just the start of a big college football weekend here on MSC. The MSC Sports Connection, the Gophers against Louisiana Monroe, the college football post-game show hosted by Mike Max, coming up live for the Minneapolis Metrodome. That's coming up on Saturday at 2:30 here on MSC, your ultimate sports connection.
Gophers are supposed to have a pretty good football team again this year. Surprised some people last year and got a lot of talent coming back. It'll be interesting to see how they do.
I'll tell you what, top to bottom in the Big Ten, I know we say this year in and year out, but they are especially deep this season.
It's true, year in and year out, and I agree with you, especially this year.
Gophers go to a bowl game a year ago. Illinois goes to a bowl game a year ago, perhaps surprising some teams, and they're still finished to pick 7th, 8th in the conference, and 7 ranked teams.
I followed Illinois the last couple of years, having broadcast some of their games. I think they're for real. I think they're a good team.
There's a look at the passing yards so far here in the first half. 1st and goal at the 9. Welsh back and finds Bush complete at the 2-yard line. Gain of 7.
Nice job by Welch. If he could have gotten that ball just a little higher, there was a blown coverage, and Bush could have walked into the end zone. Little crisscross by the receivers down in the left-hand corner.
Pass completion.
And a blown coverage, but you can see just a little better thrown ball. That would have been 6. Welch does a nice job of getting the ball at least out there on a tough throw to the left, but well, you can't make those kind of mistakes if you're Wisconsin at this point in the game at that field position.
A full house backfield. Welch, keeper, throwing into the end zone, and touchdown. Elijah Farragut all alone. And that was a formation not seen yet tonight by the Badger defense.
Well, they didn't just have problems with that formation, Craig. They had problems with that drive. That was a very well executed, well called drive. Nice move getting around Dever Hughes that time, finding the open receiver. And it's 6 points, so we got a ball game. And I got to tell you, from what I've seen, Craig, I think Western Michigan at this point looks better than Wisconsin.
Well, I'll tell you what, that last drive was a major statement.
It's the kind of statement that you like to see if you're Gary Darnell, because it's in response to what could have been the air going out of the balloon. It wasn't that. He fought right back, and this could give their defense a little more confidence. Now the pressure goes back to Brooks Bollinger and that Badger offense to get something going and extend this lead with 1:54 to go in the half.
And if Farragut, after the touchdown, comes back to the huddle and actually went down and sat down on the ground, and checking out that leg, perhaps. Cramp?
I think this is the point where you're going to start to see some of these players be affected by cramps. Very hot, very humid. This is the longest first game of the year, probably the longest they're going to have played continuously. And Western Michigan not being as big, getting worn down, I look for it to affect them more in the second half than Wisconsin.
An impressive 7-play, 80-yard drive for the
Prior
touchdown.
to the snap. Dead ball, false start, offense. 5-yard penalty. Try will come from the 8-yard line.
So Brad Salent will try the extra point a few yards further away.
Judging by the way his kickoffs have gone out of the end zone, I don't think the distance here will be a problem because of the penalty.
You're saying in practice the other day, he kicked a 65-yard field goal. Gets the extra point, and the Badgers lead back down to 3 as the Broncos get their first score of 2000 and trail the 5th-ranked team in the country with under 2 minutes to go in the first half by a score of only 10-7.
A quiet Camp Randall right now.
Well, they had the punt return for the touchdown, and we mentioned, Randy, what's going to happen after that? Will it electrify Wisconsin or will it electrify Western Michigan? And so far, it looks like the Broncos have come out and said, not a problem.
And this is, if you're Brooks Bollinger, the Badger offense, you got to like the position you're going to be going into. You should be able to run your 2-minute offense. You've been able to see and dissect what the Broncos are doing defensively. They necessarily haven't been able to stop it, but they've been able to see it, and nothing should really catch them by surprise. And there's got to be some better execution by this offense if they're going to put more points on the board.
Well, coming up at the half, we'll take a look at Wisconsin's new starting tailback, Michael Bennett. Look ahead to the 2000 season in the Big Ten, and also highlights and stats from the first half as well.
I think if you had some questions about Michael Bennett, you've got to have some of those answered, and I think the answers are going to be pretty pleasing. I think he's taken the hits, he's dished out the hits, he's run hard. I think there are going to be some real positive reviews with what we've seen in the first half.
And Bennett back to take this kickoff, and now he's got to come out. Some miscommunication, and he still makes it out to about the 20-yard line. Eddie Faulkner turned around and said, don't come out, but he was too late.
Sometimes you lose your presence as to where you are on the field, and he goes backwards to field the kickoff, not knowing maybe he was in the end zone or how far he was. He wants to come out. He sees Faulkner. By that time, it's too late. At least he turns what could have been a very negative play and gets the ball out to the 20-yard line where it would have been anyway.
He just wanted to get that sprint speed going, I think. Little giddy up.
Really hadn't been able to do that tonight. Hadn't had many opportunities to break open.
And Eddie Faulkner, the lone man in the backfield, and he'll take the handoff and just gets back to the line of scrimmage. Once again, that Bronco defense is there, this time led by Chris Browning.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Broncos start calling some timeouts here. If this is, yeah, there's their first one. If this is what Wisconsin is going to do.
Timeout. Western Michigan, first 1.5.
They have 2 left now. If this is what Wisconsin is going to do, is just try and run it out, not anything successful on first down with the way their offense moved that ball, that doesn't surprise me they call that timeout. I think they're going to force Wisconsin to try and make something happen.
1:41 to go here in the first half. Let's take a look at Wisconsin's missing in action in this game, based on the suspensions due to getting some discounts at a local shoe store. Jamar Fletcher, Nick Davis, Delonte McGrew, Ryan Simmons, Bryson Thompson, and Scott Willing, along with Chris Chambers, Ben Johnson, George Pratt, Chuck Smith, and Stephon Watson. Johnson, Chambers, Fletcher, Davis, Bryson Thompson are all starters. And of course, Chambers is out for a few games with the injury, but some of those guys face 3-game suspensions, some more face 1-game suspensions, all to be served in the first 4 weeks of the football season.
And at this point, the latest word from the Badger Athletic Department is it's uncertain whether Chris Chambers' suspension can be in effect while he's injured. That may It is obviously going to be a situation that is going to be addressed later. That's unclear right now whether he can be suspended while he's injured.
And there may have been a clock problem. Looks like the play clock had to be reset for this after the timeout by Western. Second down at 10. Bollinger back to pass. Pass complete and a Wisconsin first down. Conroy White comes up with the football.
Now Wisconsin picking up the first down. The clock stops, signaling the plays to Bollinger a little quicker. Let them come up, and Western Michigan, after giving up the first down, not calling the timeout.
Clock rolls now. 90 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Badgers have a 10-7 lead. Bollinger back to pass again. Dumps it off to Faulkner. Gains about 9 up to the 40-yard line.
I think we're going to have
a flag down on the play.
Flag down generally in the offensive holding area, which not only would stop the clock, as you see the referee signal holding against the Badgers, not only will stop the clock, but push them back quite a bit after that, what would have been a nice gain.
Here's the official call.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
Take a look if we can see the holds. Pretty good pressure coming in. There's a hold right there. Looked like it was on the left side. Didn't catch exactly who that was, but it looked like it was on the left side against Anthony Alsbury, number 37 for Western Michigan, in a costly penalty.
Josh Jakubowski on that left side, filling in for Ben Johnson tonight. First and 20 now, the 21. Bollinger facing the rush. Stays on his feet, tries to get some of those yards back. And the Broncos quickly call a timeout with 53 seconds to go. Their second timeout of the half. Second down and 15 at the 22.
This has been the most successful play for the Badgers, is Bollinger scrambling. And we saw last time, I think it was the tight end Sigmund that had been called for the holding a few plays ago against Alsbury, and I think he may have got away with one on this play. As you can see, Bollinger stepped up a little quicker. Let's see, watch the left side of your screen, see if we can pick it up at all. It was tough to pick it up from that angle, but obviously Bollinger wasn't going to hang around and find out as he vacated quickly. And again, the pass protection, very, very spotty, questionable at best for the Badgers.
Well, you like to see Bollinger on the move, but not by choice so much tonight.
And you don't like to see him taking the hits that he's been taking tonight. If he's going to run, let it be when he's ready to run. Let it be when the plays are designed, the outside sprint outs, the bootlegs, where he can get out of bounds. You don't like him taking the kind of hits that he's taken tonight when he hasn't been hit at all in fall camp. So you're not used to those. You at least don't even have a couple weeks under your belt.
Well, Bollinger, for one, has to answer all the questions during pre-camp of, are you going to be ready to take over because Ron Dane is gone? He certainly welcomes that challenge, but that's part of his makeup.
And I think that's why he's had the success at such a young age, is because to him it's not a big deal. I am ready. He was the leader last year. Wasn't the leader, but he was one of them. And the players responded to him very well. Tonight I think he's done a very nice job of showing that leadership with a lot of holes in that offense.
Bollinger maintains his balance. And he's going to get hit again at the 25-yard line.
But a nice job, Craig, of staying in bounds and not going out of bounds. Going ahead, taking the hit, forcing the Broncos to use that last timeout, not going out of bounds and stopping the clock.
42 ticks left for third down and long for the Badgers. And I think there are some tired, drained players out on both sides of the football right now in this heat.
I think you are absolutely right. And with the Badgers having some of their suspensions, we alluded to it earlier, they don't have quite as much depth, at least to the quality of player that you could step up to play to give a starter, a Jamar Fletcher, Nick Davis, a break. They're already using those guys, so you've got to go deeper into your depth. And with Western Michigan, they don't have as many players that they brought here. They're also a little lighter. They're getting worn down going against this bigger team. So I think that's going to be a major impact on both teams in the second half.
In case you're just joining us, and we're talking about the suspensions if you're not aware of them, 47 Badger football players face discipline from getting discounts at a local shoe store. 11 players will be suspended for 3 games, 15 more for 1 game, and 21 others must serve community work. And that has dramatically affected the starting lineup, and will, as the NCAA has requested that Wisconsin serve these suspensions by the first 4 games of the season.
I think those players being gone, though, has affected the Badgers more mentally than physically, especially offensively. They're not missing that much offensively, but I think mentally it's affected their focus.
I would agree, because this word comes down about 4 hours before kickoff, and now you have to make some decisions, because you have a couple of spots, such as the quarterback spot. Eccles is out 1 game. Jamar Fletcher is out 3. Now, you don't want both those guys out together. Your left tackle 2 deep. Both those guys are serving suspensions as well.
That's going to be a major problem there, is they were new starters anyway. And now what you really can't have is an injury. And no team likes that. The Badgers at certain positions go back to where they were a while ago, where they don't have enough depth if they get that key injury.
So an uneventful last 2 minutes of the first half. Before that, though, Western Michigan, a nice drive in their 2-minute drill, scoring on Wisconsin and closing the gap here in the first 30 minutes, trailing the 5th-ranked team in the country by only a field goal at this point. As we head into halftime, it's the Badgers 10 and Western Michigan 7. Plenty more coming our way at halftime. Stay with us at Camp Randall Stadium.
This is a Fox 17 News at 10 special report.
Hi, everybody. I'm Christian Frank with your headlines at this hour. 4 teenage girls convicted in a sex for money incident were sentenced today after pleading no contest. Lindsay Zackham, May Roscoe, Olivia Talamantes, and Lisa Darling all convicted of forcing another teenage girl to have sex with 4 men so they could get the money for drugs. Today, each girl got a different sentence, ranging from 1 year to between 7 and 25 years. They all said they're sorry for what they did, something the victim's family wanted to hear.
Finally glad I got an apology from all of them, because all this time nobody has said I'm sorry.
Now, as part of a plea deal, the 4 men are serving a year in jail. They will also be deported back to Guatemala. The search is on for the mother of a newborn infant left abandoned on the side of a country road. The white male baby was discovered on a stretch of S Avenue in Pavilion Township, southeast of Kalamazoo. A motorist found the baby strapped in a car seat with his umbilical cord still intact. The driver took the infant to the nearest store, where he called 911. The baby is now at Bronson Methodist Hospital in good condition. Senior citizens got into the school voucher debate in Grand Rapids today. The Senior Citizen Senate of Kent County sponsored a debate at Trinity Lutheran Church. They say grandparents are concerned about the educational opportunities for kids. The voucher system would provide money to help parents pay for private schooling. Now, opponents of the voucher system say taking money from some of our troubled public schools and giving it to private schools is simply a recipe for disaster. Well, if you're headed out on vacation this Labor Day weekend, bring plenty of gas money. AAA Michigan says it'll be the most expensive Labor Day weekend since they started keeping track back in 1973. Today we found regular unleaded at $1.62 a gallon, up 30 cents from last year. AAA Michigan also says more than 2 million will be out on the road. Well, join us tonight for more weather and high school football action. We'll see you then.
We'll miss Ron. And I think a lot of us took Ron for granted after a while.
I don't know if anyone can replace Ron Day.
Look out! Ron Day, he needs 23. He's across the 40. Open up the history books. Here comes Ron Day.
True, Ron Dane is irreplaceable. However, somebody has to follow college football's all-time leading rusher. But who?
Here we go!
For now, the answer is junior Michael Bennett. A Big Ten sprint champion, Bennett runs faster than Dane and talks faster.
Man, I love the cameras. I love to talk. I mean, it's just my personality. But, you know, Ron's, I mean, he's a great guy. He's quiet and, you know, maybe shies away from the cameras. But, I mean, I love it. Bring it on, you know.
So, I mean, you still talk to us if you get 10 rushes for 9 yards?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with talking. I'll talk about anything.
It's obvious Bennett is anxious and excited. And sometimes that anxiety, coupled with his speed, shows in the practice field.
What we have to do with Michael is slow him down a little bit. You know, it's not 10 flat every time you get the ball.
Mike was so eager to, you know, hit the hole right away and you get going. And, you know, he's settled down a little bit. He's learned to take a little more patience and wait for things to develop a little bit more and what have you. And, you know, we've worked with him. We've gamed a little. He gives a little, you know, and everything's going to be fine.
The fact remains, Michael Bennett could have the best year in college football history, and it might not be good enough.
For Mike to come in and have to try and fill those shoes in his first season and his first start may not be fair. I think that Mike's a very talented guy, and in time maybe he will live up to that.
Whether he does or doesn't, Michael Bennett understands the Ron Dayne questions will continue.
They'll go the whole season until, you know, I've, I guess, established myself well enough for them to stop. But I think they'll go on forever.
The Michael Bennett era begins now. For Midwest Sports Channel, I'm Pat Fisher.
Being part of a team makes a big difference for these girls. Thing is, when the going gets tough, the tough go. When I look in their eyes, I can see how much they look up to me. It's a lonely job. Every one of these girls has a dream. It's my job to help them dream big.
It was a sultry night when Della finally agreed to stop by for a soda. With nothing cold to drink, I knew she'd disappear as quick as the steam coming off the asphalt on Dixby Street. Then I remembered, no container in the world chills down as fast as aluminum cans. A little later, it was the cans that were icy cold, not Della. I thought to myself, if there's just one thing in this whole crazy world I'd pass along, it's this. Next time, buy cans.
Hey, that was a nasty little accident you were in last week. Yeah, it's taken forever to get our vehicle repaired.
And it's a struggle with just one car.
Didn't your agent tell you about rental car insurance? Well, I don't really have an agent.
He bought our policy from an 800 number.
Well, I thought I could get cheaper insurance.
But we paid more for less service.
For local service, call your independent auto owner's agent today.
Call Gregory Newell Insurance in Mattawan or the John Shearing Jr. Agency in Portage.
Chrysler cars and minivans are widely recognized for their style and engineering. And now during the Chrysler 2000 final clearance, get the biggest cash allowances of the year, up to $2,000 on cars. Or you can get over $4,000 in cash and finance savings on minivans. So it should be no surprise they're so well received. Only at your Chrysler dealer.
Rangers own a 10-7 lead over Western Michigan here at the break. Number 5, Wisconsin, getting surprised. I think we can easily say that, Randy.
Oh, I think so, and I think they're probably hearing about it right now in the locker room. Western Michigan has come out and played very well. They followed some of the keys to the game that we thought would happen. They've kept it close. They've rebounded from some adversity, and the Badgers really have not looked in sync at all. Their touchdown coming on the punt return, and I think if you're Western Michigan, they're going to get the ball to start the second half. I got to think they're feeling pretty good.
Well, the Badgers, of course, had to make some adjustments before this game as far as the suspensions go, but a big test for them to see how deep they really are and how they handle adversity.
And I think we're seeing the effect of that. Physically, you lose some good players. You knew Chris Chambers was going to be out. You lose Jamar Fletcher. You lose Nick Davis. Those are some big players. but I think mentally they're really seeing the effect where their concentration was broken before this game. They're now in a situation where they had to come and rebound from that with 3-4 hours of notice, and I think it's worn on them. It'll be interesting now to see how they can come back and focus, facing a little more adversity, almost maybe borderline embarrassed with just a 10-7 lead when you're the number 5 team in the country opening up at home.
Well, you mentioned the number 5. You know, that's big across the Big Ten because there are 7 ranked teams in the top 25. And we talked earlier about how deep and how good the Big Ten was this year. There we start out. We got Michigan at number 4, Wisconsin at 5, Purdue is 14, Ohio State 16, Illinois 20, and Michigan State 22. Actually, 6 teams in the top 25.
Well, you started with Penn State up there till they got beat, but you've got some good young teams, and I have been covering the Big Ten for the last several years. And a couple years ago, we saw these teams here with a lot of young players. Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, they were young teams that were very good. And now what's happened is those young teams have grown up, and now they're older teams that are very good. And now I think you'll see a Big Ten team maybe compete for the national title.
Well, that's, I'm sure, in the back of the minds of Wisconsin before this season began. 2 straight Rose Bowls. Can they make it to the Orange Bowl this year?
Well, I think when you win 2 Big Ten championships, you go to the Rose Bowl, you win 2, you have to raise your goal. It's expected now. They have a tremendous amount of talent coming back. Their expectations are very high, and I think people here would be disappointed if they didn't set their sights on a national championship game.
Well, let's take a look at what lies ahead for Western Michigan after coming here to Camp Randall Stadium. They're used to going into some big stadiums, did it a year ago at the Swamp, and they're going to do it again next week when they go to Iowa.
Well, they played well last year when they opened up against some tough teams, and they carried that through the rest of the season. They won their division. They opened up this year with 2 Big Ten teams, and they're hanging in there tough right now, and Gary Darnell feels that will help his team. As long as he doesn't get the injuries, that'll help his team in his conference.
And they should contend again for the MAC as far as the Wisconsin Badgers and their schedule, what lies ahead for them. A lot of people like this year's non-conference schedule. You have Oregon coming in to Camp Randall next Saturday.
Well, I think the Badgers have taken a lot of heat in the last several years because their non-conference schedule has been so weak. Whereas this year, it's a little tougher. They do play Oregon, Cincinnati, even though they weren't very good last year, or weren't supposed to be very good, surprise the Badgers with the upset. And then you do have a pretty tough Big Ten schedule. So I think it's a respectable non-conference schedule, which is something that the Badgers have not had in quite a while.
And all eyes on September 30th. Wisconsin goes to the Big House against Michigan. A lot of people are saying that's for the Big Ten championship and perhaps a national championship berth.
Well, they say you never win the national championship early, but you can certainly lose it early. And I think that is the key game in the Big Ten this year, at least at this point. In my opinion, clearly the 2 best teams in the Big Ten. You would think they would be healthy because they're playing early, although Drew Henson is hurt. And the Badgers are going to have several of their players that have been suspended for 3 games that aren't going to have that kind of game experience you would like. So there are already a few cogs thrown into that.
The heat is on, and it is hot here in Madison tonight, a Thursday night opener for Wisconsin and Western Michigan. The Badgers lead at the break 10-7. We'll come back and look at first half highlights and stats for you in just a moment.
He does it because he loves it.
Oh, come on, what are you talking?
Things don't always go quite like he plans, but I am glad they have a coach like him. Sports gives these girls confidence that they can use their whole life. To him, it's not just about the game. He really wants to teach these girls how to dream big.
Big Ten football. The Michigan Wolverines take on the Bowling Green Falcons. Saturday at noon on Fox 17 Sports. She didn't ask to be an experiment. She didn't choose to be a fugitive. She doesn't want to be a hero.
Barcode on your neck, Max. I know who you are, and I know who you're running from.
James Cameron's Dark Angel, Fox Fall.
The Broncos invite you to be a part of our football family.
Our coaches and student athletes are committed to making a difference in West Michigan. Community service is our way of thanking you for your support of the Broncos.
You can't have a championship caliber program without championship caliber fans.
I want to thank you for the support that you've shown us, and I want to invite you to all the excitement that will be here in the year 2000.
Season tickets give you a great seat at every game for just $65. Join us at Waldo Stadium.
Some straight talk about insurance from auto owners.
You may think eliminating the middleman will save you money. When it comes to insurance, you eliminate a lot more. Like the personal service that comes from dealing with a local agent. Someone who lives in your community, who knows you and your insurance needs, and will be there for you when you need them. For the best rates and coverage, call your local independent auto owner's agent.
Call Gregory Newell Insurance in Mattawan or the John Shearing Jr. Agency in Portage.
Your car doesn't need to be a classic for you to get that great Lentz USA service. Whether you need new shock absorbers, brakes, a muffler, or wheel alignment, Lentz USA gets you back on the road quickly and safely. See Lentz USA today for great summertime savings. Lentz USA, getting you there is why we're here.
Back at Camp Randall Stadium, number 5 Wisconsin leading Western Michigan at the break. 10-7 is our scores. We take a look now at the first half highlights for you. Take a look at what transpired as this kind of turns out to be a low-scoring affair. Jeff Welsh, the first and only turnover of the first half, feels Wisconsin's heat a little bit.
Well, he's under intense pressure, just forgets to tuck the ball away, and for a guy making one of his few starts at quarterback, big mistake early. He rebounded well from it, though.
And Herbert comes up with the fumble recovery. That leads to this big play, the biggest play on offense for Wisconsin. Bollinger to Lee Evans, and what a grab.
It was a great grab. It was an excellent throw. Put it out there where he could go up and get it. Big play by Evans, one of the few the Badger offense have had, but didn't turn it into a touchdown. Had to settle for the 3.
So Wisconsin leads 3-0 after the field goal, but they'll make it a 10-0 score as Josh Hunt filling in for Nick Davis, the punt return, the walk-on from Thiensville, and he goes some 89 yards.
Well, sometimes your big plays can come in strange ways, and with Nick Davis being out, you weren't expecting it from the special teams, but Hunt does a nice job of fielding this and trying to give his team a spark and taking it upon his shoulders himself and turning this into a really nice play that the Badgers needed at that time.
He's a speedy wide receiver who served on the scout team, and when he got his opportunity tonight, he certainly cashed in and did a nice job there. So Wisconsin takes a 10-0 lead at that point. The question is, who will be sparked by this? Turns out to be the offense of Western Michigan. Welsh to Mobilaja Afarian.
Best drive of the night by either team. Welsh does a nice job avoiding the sack, hits his tight end wide open in the end zone, and they responded very well. Best offensive drive, and now they're going to have some momentum after this halftime break, and they're also going to get the ball to start the second half.
And here's a look at tonight's American TV halftime stats. The big key passing yards, Welsh with 103 so far, and Wisconsin balance on the football hasn't produced a whole lot, taking advantage of one turnover, going for the field goal and time of possession in Wisconsin.
Well, the other thing, time of possession usually is a misleading stat, or it can be, as Wisconsin hadn't done anything with their time of possession, but I do think the heat will be a factor, and that time of possession will work to their benefit in this second half, so I do think this can be a little more telling than sometimes.
That's right. Wisconsin's offense has only produced 3 points so far in this game, getting the touchdown off special teams. We thought maybe special teams might take a hit with some of the suspensions, but Josh Hunt really coming up big.
He came up big, and that kind of shows you it's really the special teams themselves, not just one player.
That's a good point, Randy, certainly. We're going to come back with the start of the second half. Third quarter on the way as Wisconsin leads Western Michigan here at Camp Randall Stadium, Thursday night, 2000 season opener. It's 10-7.
Sometimes people are afraid to admit that they don't know what their life's plan is. This is the one time in your life where you can read great books, learn about the great thinkers, challenge yourself, and say, all I want to do is gain a broad liberal arts humanities background. It's the perfect way to go into something like the field I'm in, because you learn to think critically, and I apply that every day to what I do here. I absolutely wouldn't trade it for the world. I owe that to my experience when I was an undergraduate at the University of Wisconsin.
Here's what you've been waiting for. Denoyer Chevrolet's Closeout Blowout. Save $3,000 on a Venture minivan. Save $6,000 on a new Silverado extended cab pickup. Hurry, take advantage of the Closeout Blowout at Denoyer Chevrolet, Kalamazoo.
You can always borrow a truck and move yourself.
I can't believe you called him.
But he's an old buddy.
That you haven't seen in years.
So what? He's got a truck, and that's all I care about.
Or for just a few dollars more than renting a truck, you can call the Movers Who Care. 2 men and a truck. You can always borrow a truck and move yourself.
Now do you believe me? I told you we could make it all in one trip.
Or for just a few dollars more than renting a truck and doing it yourself, you can call the Movers Who Care. 2 men and a truck.
On the go, school, work, busy life? Better catch the Express. Centennial Express, prepaid wireless phone service as low as 20 cents a minute. Call from anywhere to anywhere. You'll know what's happening and where it's happening. Get connected with Centennial Express prepaid wireless phone service. No contracts, no bills, no surprises. It's prepaid. Centennial Express from Centennial Wireless, your big area, small price wireless phone company.
Here's what you've been waiting for. Denoyer Chevrolet's Closeout Blowout. Save $2,700 on a new Cavalier. Save $2,400 on a new V6 Malibu. Hurry, take advantage of the Closeout Blowout at Denoyer Chevrolet, Kalamazoo.
And we're just about set to start the third quarter at Camp Randall Stadium, where Wisconsin leads Western Michigan. It's a tight one, 10-7 in the season opener for both clubs. So the obvious question in a tight game is, what are each of these clubs going to do to start out the second half, and where do they go? And we revisit our keys to the game, and we take a look at the visiting team first, the Broncos from Western Michigan.
Well, what they needed to do is they needed to create some big plays on offense, and they really haven't done that other than that last drive. They hit a couple of big pass plays which moved the ball for them. They've kept the UW drives relatively short, whether they've been in time or in yardage. They've given their defense a chance to get a little bit of a rest. They haven't given up the 80-90-yard drive, and they've done a nice job of keeping it close early to where they've got some confidence, and now they know they're one play away.
And as far as the Badgers offensively, they've been chased around by that Bronco defense.
Well, they haven't had any turnovers. They really haven't given up the big play other than a couple of 15, 20-yard pass plays. I think the focus on the game has been their problem. They just seem a little bit flat for an opening game, especially offensively. And I think you can understand why. That doesn't mean you have to accept it. They need to get their focus now. And they have, in the past, played very well to open the second half. They need that same kind of performance right now.
And to start out the third quarter, the Badgers will be kicking off, so they'll put their defense on the field, matched up against that explosive potential on offense of the Broncos. So Vitaly Pisetsky is set to go. A very nice crowd on hand, not quite a sellout. They'd like to become vocal for the home team here in the second half. It's going to be first and 20. Western Michigan.
First and 10. Western Michigan.
Western Michigan needs to continue to do the things that they did in that first half, Craig. They're probably playing with a little more confidence now, though, because they know they can hang with the Badgers, and they know in that last drive they moved the ball well. Pretty nice night, 9 for 14, 103 yards, and the 1 touchdown. And more importantly, it happened at the end of that second quarter. So they found some things out. We'll see if they can continue with that confidence and have some success.
4 wideouts for Jeff Welch. Hand off though to Sanford, and a big-time statement made at the line by Eric Mullick. No gain.
Roger Knight with a stop.
If you look at the Badgers' success last year, and this, although it's a different team, it's made up so much of the same parts. Their defense carried them last year, even more in my opinion than Ron Dane, because it was their defense that shut them down, and it let you bring a young quarterback along. Their defense has got to be the key again this year.
As far as points given up, Wisconsin ranked number 1 in 98, number 5 last year, but Kevin Cosgrove told us yesterday you can't look into the stats too much. He thought he had a better defense. And a nice play right there by Devery Hughes.
This team seems to play with the other 2 phases of the game, offense and special teams, the way the defense plays. And their defense is so good, it's so talented, and they have added a lot of depth to that, that even when you lose a Jamar Fletcher, you ought to be able to step up and pick it up. And more times than not, it's their defense that has created the action on the field, the turnovers, the touchdowns, the interceptions, and they need to continue to do that, especially tonight.
You saw Wendell Bryant trying to get the crowd fired up here on 3rd and 12. We like to hear it for the defense. Wells back to pass. Heavy rush. Bryant at him, and he gets away. And then Jason Doring brings him down at the 21. Must have been that moisture.
Nice job by Bryant, though. He won't get credit for a sack. He was back there, disrupted the rhythm of Welch, and forced the play to be a bust. You see, when you got two big guys like Bryant, Kalaji, and Malik, 3 of them in there just pushing the pocket back, you're going to have to get rid of that ball quickly. And Doring, nice job coming up, making the tackle at the end.
Hunt. Not given enough room there, drawing the flag, makes a nice catch. Boy, you like his concentration. And how about that, Randy? He's got a name on the back of his jersey to start the second half.
Well, when you return one for a touchdown, they give you a name. If you hadn't returned it, it'd just be a blank jersey. See a flag down for interference, and I think they're discussing whether or not the Western Michigan player was blocked into Hunt, and I think he may have been from the angle we had. And that's not the way they saw it down there, and they're going to tack this on to the play. Take a look here. See if we can see the white jersey being pushed in. Tough to tell from that angle, but definitely contact was made.
Personal foul, contact, kick catch interference, kickers, 15-yard penalty on the spot of the foul, first down.
So Wisconsin getting an extra bit of yardage there to move them into Bronco territory at the 43-yard line. And we will take a break here at Camp Randall before we get things going for the Badgers offensively. They lead Western 10-7.
Every day, AmeriDebt helps more people with money problems.
My credit card debt was outrageous. Then I called AmeriDebt. They contacted my creditors and got my payments almost cut in half.
AmeriDebt is a nonprofit organization that offers free consultations to consumers seeking to eliminate their debt.
Every month I'd pay our credit card bills, but the balances never seem to get smaller.
AmeriDebt got our interest rates reduced, and now the balances are dropping dramatically.
Call 1-800-652-4500. AmeriDebt, helping America get out of debt.
For as long as the light is blue, that blue light.
This summer, get an ordinary 4x4 and do ordinary things. Or get a Jeep 4x4 and do extraordinary things. Thanks to the Jeep Summer Clearance. Buy a new 2000 Grand Cherokee Laredo and get a $1,000 cash allowance and financing as low as 0.9%. Or if you're a returning lessee with preferred credit, lease Grand Cherokee Laredo for just $359 a month. Make this summer your best one yet. Hurry to the Jeep Summer Clearance. It's anything but ordinary. See your dealer during the Jeep Summer Clearance.
Wisconsin leading the Broncos 10-7 here in the third quarter. Head coach Gary Darnell of Western succeeding Barry Alvarez as the defensive coordinator and assistant head coach at Notre Dame when Alvarez left to come to Wisconsin. Bennett gets the handoff. Not much room to run there, maybe 2 yards.
Well, you have to like the way this first half has started, or second half, Craig, has started off for the Badgers. A good defensive stand. They get excellent field position, and now offensively, they've got to do something with it. Nice special teams, nice defense. Offensively, let's get into a rhythm and get something going.
What do you think's running through Barry Alvarez's mind?
Boy, I tell you.
Besides a million things.
How long do we have? First and foremost, another touchdown. That's what he cares about right now. He needs to put a little cushion.
On 2nd and 9, Bollinger rolls to his left. He takes a hit. The ball goes out of bounds. Incomplete. So 3rd and long now for Wisconsin.
Well, he does. It was a slow developing play. Evans, his intended receiver, really didn't separate much. And then Bollinger takes a hit right at the end. No play action, going to his left the whole way. 2 blockers in front of him. Throws the ball and then takes a smack right in the face right as he throws the ball. And boy, that has to hurt.
That's a facial, and he's been down more than once tonight. 4 out of 7, 61 yards.
Only thrown the ball 7 times, but a lot more pass plays called, a lot of them aborted with the pass rush.
And here could be another one. Bollinger driven out of bounds. So on 3rd and 9, Bollinger loses a few yards.
Boy, a major opportunity not taken advantage of by this Badger offense. You make your adjustments at halftime, you come out, you get great field position, and then you just don't do anything with it. Poorly executed plays on the pass play, and then that one right there, reminiscent of what we saw in that first half.
So Kevin Stemke back in to punt for the Badgers. Josh Bush is waiting about the 10-yard line. Stemke with already 1 down at the 10. This one taking a western bounce all the way back near the 19-yard line, and that's where it'll be down, and that's where the Broncos will take over on offense. Their second series of the 3rd quarter, trailing only by 3. A 23-yard punt by Stemke, who struggled a bit last year by his standards, one of the best punters in the country, averaging 43 yards a kick. We are at Camp Randall Stadium in Madison, where Western Michigan is trying to pull off the upset against number 5 Wisconsin. Along with Randy Wright, I'm Craig Kashan, and it is a 10-7 Badger lead as we are early in the 3rd quarter.
I just want to celebrate,
You'll find a lot to celebrate during the Ford authorized clearance, like this $159 a month, 24-month lease on a best-selling 2000 Ranger 4x2 XLT regular cab. Just $19.19 due at signing. Of course, you'll save big on every new 2000 if you hurry. The Ford authorized clearance ends soon, so see your neighborhood Ford dealer right away.
5 yards, and will give Western Michigan a nice call on 1st down, but those are the kinds of mental mistakes that you should not be making in the first game.
Wisconsin traditionally under Barry Alvarez have limited their penalties, one of the fewest penalized teams in not only the Big Ten but the country.
And when you look at those things, the penalties, the turnovers, that tells you how focused his team usually is.
And Welsh this time hit by Bryant, and that possibly limited the air attack on that throw right there.
Boy, he had a receiver who ran a nice pattern. I think it was Alston who ran a nice route, and had Welsh had just a little bit more time, could have picked up big yardage, but Bryant being in his face caused the bad throw. Back to the point we made, when you look at this Badger team over the past several years, few penalties, very few turnovers, outstanding play on special teams. That's because the focus has been there, and I think tonight, for reasons we've touched on, it's missing.
6 penalties in the game for Wisconsin. 2nd down and 5 at the 24. Pass complete to Bush. 1st down, turns on the Jets, and goes down about the 46-yard line.
Sometimes, Craig, you just call the right play at the right time. Wisconsin coming with the blitz off of the corner to the right of your screen. That's right where the Broncos are throwing. They've got 2 guys out there to block the 2 defenders. And you can see Grayson right there, Nick Grayson, number 45, who had Bush, just couldn't get out there in time to cover it. So sometimes you just guess right, and that time the Broncos did.
21-yard pickup for the Broncos, sets up 1st and 10 at their own 45 as they approach midfield. Gary Darnell really inserting a lot of players at receiver. This one complete to Farragut. Makes a nice move and gets inside the 20-yard line. Doring brings him down, saving the touchdown.
Doring with a sure tackle that time on Farragut. But again, a nicely executed play. You're giving Welch time to throw, and his confidence is growing. And right over Roger Knight, one of the same plays that the Broncos worked successfully earlier. This time, Doring with a touchdown-saving tackle.
Last two plays, 21 yards, and this last one, 38-yard pickup.
Rhythm plays for the Bronco offense. Quick rhythm before the pass rush gets there. You can do those things when you're in sync, and their offense is right now.
Ball's at the 16 of Wisconsin. Welsh. Pass to Neal. Goes incomplete. Perhaps a bit overthrown there, but Western Michigan threatening to take the lead against Wisconsin.
Well, when your offense is into a rhythm and you're playing defense, you have to do something to disrupt that rhythm. The closer you get to your own end zone, the more aggressive you get. The Badgers need to start blitzing. They need to start bringing some pressure from different areas to disrupt that rhythm. And that time, John Favre coming underneath gets pressure on Welch and causes a poor throw.
Second down and 10.
I would look for them, Craig, to continue to do some things, changing up inside to continue to put that pressure on.
Favre, big pressure and intercepted. Eric Mala comes up with that one. Well, Wisconsin needed a big-time stop and got it from the senior out of Green Bay, but heavy heat up front, causing Welsh to throw this one in up the middle.
I just want to celebrate.
You'll find a lot to celebrate during the Ford authorized clearance, like this $159 a month, 24-month lease on a best-selling 2000 Ranger 4x2 XLT regular cab. Just $19.19 due at signing. Of course, you'll save big on every new 2000 if you hurry.
I just want to celebrate. Yeah.
The Ford authorized clearance ends soon, so see your neighborhood Ford dealer right away.
On the highway of life, it's nice to meet an honest man. Introducing VoiceStream Wireless.
Talk to me.
VoiceStream gives you more with 500 anytime minutes, just $39.99.
Now that's good.
More for your money, guaranteed.
Great.
And weekends?
Do you like parties?
Now free nationwide.
Time, I guarantee it.
So get VoiceStream and get more from life, guaranteed.
Hello.
Your future as a manager, educator, engineer, administrator, future leader. What will set you apart? Develop the contacts, connections, and personal networks you'll need at Western Michigan University's Grand Rapids campus. Western Michigan University in Grand Rapids offers nationally recognized master's degrees taught by exceptional faculty, evenings and weekends. Connect with your future. Western Michigan University, Grand Rapids campus.
Up is Eric Mullock, scores the first interception of his career, the former walk-on out of Green Bay, Notre Dame.
Watch Mullock drop from his nose guard position, a zone blitz. You bring the linebackers, you drop the linemen. This time the Badgers had the right play called at the right time.
Bennett carries on 1st and 10 from the 35. Not much room there again for Bennett, maybe a yard.
We talked to Craig about this Badger defense having risen to the occasion last year, the last couple of years. I still get the feeling, though, this Badger offense or somebody is going to have to score more points, because I'm not convinced the Broncos aren't going to score anymore.
They were on the verge, there's no doubt about that, on their last drive.
How big a stop does that Jason Doring tackle look now? Touchdown saving tackle. You think sometimes you just put off the inevitable? Not so. Badgers get the turnover.
2nd and long. Bennett again. And met at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. Running to the right side. And on the right side, Dave Costin, Bryant Lamont. Lamont becoming a starter for the first time, replacing Mark Tauser, who is now a member of the Green Bay Packers.
This will be an interesting play call here. because of the pressure Bollinger's been under, Brian White has stayed away from some obvious passing calls in those situations. Now with a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, we're going to see an obvious passing situation, see what happens.
And the Broncos are bringing it. Bollinger has to step up, and he is sacked. Brought down again by Anthony Olsbury.
If you were questioning why the Badgers ran the ball on 2nd and 9, the same play, at least appearance of the same play with Bennett, and didn't do very well, Brian White is getting a little hesitant to call the pass plays because Bollinger has been under so much pressure the entire game. And it's not just coming from one area. You can't just say it's this guy or that guy. It's coming from all over the place.
Stemke back in to punt for the Badgers. Bush back near his 30-yard line to receive the punt. A pretty good one by Stemke down to the 25. And Joey Bose there with a big-time special teams solo tackle. 55-yard punt for Stemke.
Well, I don't know of a team that's got 2 better kickers on the same team than the Badgers do. Besetke and Stemke, 2 pretty good ones.
And they've been around for a while. Make that a 45-yard punt by Stemke. College football coming your way. In the Big 12, Louisiana Tech and Kansas. That's 6:30, followed by a Pac-10 matchup between Stanford and Washington State live at MSC Saturday. All the action starts at 6:30. MSC, your ultimate sports connection. Welsh feeling a little bit of heat there again by Fabre and company. That one incomplete.
The Badgers are starting to put some pressure from different areas on Welsh, just enough to where he can't drop back with the total confidence that he's going to have time to throw the ball. That time, you may have gotten away with one, the ball that got knocked loose. It looked like pretty good coverage, and where he was trying to throw the ball, there was more red jerseys there than white. But if you just put that pressure on him, just enough to play games in his mind, you really disrupt him, and that's what they're starting to do.
2nd and 10. Coverage out there by Hughes, incomplete.
Good coverage by Hughes this time. Good cover guy, a cornerback that they moved to strong safety. Same thing they did with Joey Bose, so you expect to have a little better cover skills, but yet these guys aren't afraid to stick their nose in there and have some contact. And Hughes that time played that pass like a cornerback more so than a strong safety. Excellent coverage.
3rd and 10 now for the Broncos. Welsh back to pass. This time, he is brought down by Nick Bryson.
Well, Craig, Western Michigan has gotten away from the running game. They've gone basically to the drop back or sprint out pass, and initially good protection here, but there's nobody open, and Welsh is forced to keep the ball. I think the Broncos need to go back to at least running the ball some, mixing that in a little bit to keep the Badgers a little more honest than what they are right now.
Loss of 8. A very high punt. And punt is hit right away. And a big-time special teams play made right there by Sam Reynolds. Couldn't have timed that one out any better, but Hunt gets up and says, okay. Might be seeing a few birds or stars, but
well, I tell you, that's one of those things that a couple of punts ago, he gets called for interference. This time, he's got to have 2 yards, and boy, you can't say that he did, you can't say that he didn't. You could argue that either way, but apparently he did, and just a well-timed defensive special teams play. And Hunt, nice job holding on to it. I'd say he had his 2 yards from that angle.
It's hard to judge the speed of a player coming in like that when you're questionable, and well, I tell you what, you got to give him credit. Bollinger in trouble again, throws this one away, but he hits the turf hard, and the pressure's been there all night, this time by Jason Babin.
Even on that play, Craig, what you saw was Bollinger on a bootleg, but the Badgers only released 2 receivers. And you're not supposed to get that kind of pressure on a quarterback when you're keeping that many people in to protect. It was good coverage in the secondary, and Bollinger had no choice but to throw it away, yet he still paid the price and took another hit.
I saw the quarterback comparisons. Second down and 10 from the 38. Bollinger back to pass again, heavy heat, and a flag now. The ball looked like it was going out of bounds. But they're going to get Howard Boyd-Doe, I should say on the other side of the football, Joe Ballard, for interference, it looks like. And now the question is, was that ball catchable, I guess?
I don't think it was catchable. I'm not sure that's not going to be a personal foul. No, they are going to call it interference. Looked like that ball was well out of bounds and would not have been a catchable ball by any means.
Pass interference on a defense. That'll be a spot foul, automatic, first down.
Take a look, see if we can pick this up to where we can see if it would have been a catchable ball at all. Close. I think to give the officials the benefit of the doubt, both of them threw the flag.
Michael Bennett getting some positive yards. Wisconsin's running game has been held in check probably over the last quarter and a half.
I think you go back to that other play, Craig, with both officials throwing the flag, you got to think they saw the same thing. But I agree with you, this running game and the passing game together, neither one of them working for the Badgers. They need to get something going. They need somebody to make a play. Bennett to break one, Bollinger to find somebody make a great catch. Somebody's got to make something happen here.
Bennett now 61 yards on 18 carries so far in this game. And once again, movement on that line of scrimmage. Western Michigan pointing over towards the Wisconsin side.
Prior to the snap, dead ball, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Just when the Badgers do something nice on first down and put themselves into a decent second down call, shoot themselves in the foot and back themselves right back up.
And normally you'd say you can overcome a 5-yard penalty, but this game they have been very sluggish offensively.
Well, they're not running the ball well enough to be able to count on getting those 5 yards back in the running game. So that puts them into a passing situation, and they're not protecting Bollinger very well.
There are the rushing yard comparisons. Bennett, big hole. Bennett all the way down to the 30. And there's your first burst of speed in 2000. A 20-yard gain for the junior.
And set up by the passing game. A draw, passing down. Nice job by the offensive line. Showing pass, backing up and creating that hole. And Bennett does a nice job following Coons' block of just running to the daylight and then showing, as you said, a little bit of that speed to get by that initial attempt to tackle and pick up another 10 yards.
First and 10 at the Bronco 34, Wisconsin. Clinging to a 3-point lead right now. Bollinger's pass goes incomplete, looking for Evans, throwing a little bit behind, but again, Bollinger taking the abuse.
Well, did a nice job of getting his head around. And for any of you young quarterbacks out there, especially when you go to your left, that's the thing you have to do first, is get that head around, take a look at what's there. That way, not only can you see to get rid of the ball, but you can prepare yourself to take the hit. Gets that head around, then come to shoulders, stands in there and takes the hit, but wisely knows where to get rid of the ball so that it's not in danger of getting intercepted.
Anthony Ellsbury, the sophomore out of Bronson, Michigan, has had himself a pretty good night on that Bronco defense. Second and 10. Bollinger. Will he keep it? Yes, he will. Gains about 3 or 4 yards.
No, understandably so, Craig. I just think Bollinger is getting worn out. He has taken a lot of hits, and it takes a lot out of you as a quarterback when you're taking those hits. It's not like a running back where you're giving them out. You're delivering the ball. He's sitting there in a defenseless position a lot of the time, taking those hits while he's throwing the ball, and I think it's just really starting to wear, and that could affect his accuracy if he needs to throw some passes for completions as this game goes on. If they are in a tight ball game, that can affect him into the fourth quarter.
3rd and 7. White in motion to the far side. A lot of heat. Bollinger nowhere to go, and he is sacked again. And the ball pops out, but it looks like they're going to mark him down about the 33-yard line.
The other thing that being so tired in that position does to your offense is it limits your decision making. It impairs it, and maybe you don't make quite as quick a decision. Here, he's dropping back, running out of the pocket before he has any chance to even see what's going on. And fortunately for the Badgers, was called down before that ball came loose.
Vitaly Pisetsky in to try a 50-yard field goal. Had a 53-yarder last year for a career long. This one on the way, and it's going to hook left. Guy's got a strong leg, but when it comes to that, you got to go through the uprights, and it's a long way out. So change of possession in Western Michigan. We'll get it back in another stop.
On a 10-7 ball game, you got to get that through the uprights.
Play Cyber Bowl 2. Log on to WXMI.com. Pick the winners of pro football games. You could win Fox Sports Stuff or a big screen TV. Cyber Bowl 2 from iServe, MC Sports, and Fox 17.
A hero.
I believe Vietnam is wrong.
And the champion.
I am the greatest!
A world premiere movie, Ali, an American Hero.
Recently, the Art Center held a fair for kids to create a unique exhibit of children's art. What if you had known? Would you go out tonight instead of watching TV? Would you encourage your kids to try something they've never done before? Keep in touch with your community with the new Kalamazoo Gazette, where you'll find the New Tomorrow page. It's a daily preview of the best of everything happening in your community the next day. So call now to receive the new Kalamazoo Gazette. It's your community. Subscribe to it.
Greenleaf Trust offers a greater choice of investments.
An advantage that we have over many major institutions is that we do not have, nor are we restricted to, proprietary products.
Greenleaf Trust will analyze and create the investment combination that best fits your financial strategy.
What that means for our customers is that they have a world of investments to choose from in order to accomplish their financial objectives and financial goals.
Greenleaf Trust, financial security from generation to generation.
Michigan comes up with another stop as Vitaly Pisetsky's 50-yard field goal sails wide, and the score remains Wisconsin 10, Broncos 7.
Craig, you have to ask, who's running out of lives here? Western Michigan dodging the bullet, or the Badgers missing on too many opportunities?
4:19 to go in the third quarter. Sanford takes the handoff, gains about 3.
Though he only gained 3, I think that's a good call. You need to continue to work the run in there, if for no other reason to slow that pass rush down a little bit. The Broncos have shown that they can pick up second and longs and third and longs, but it's when you give up a sack or you get disruptive in the passing game that's hard to overcome. And Sanford's got the ability to break along when he averaged almost 5 yards per carry last year.
Got 163 yards in that MAC championship game against Marshall. Put up some big-time numbers. Welsh, a little too strong for Alston, out of bounds, so it'll be 3rd and 7.
Had a receiver open. Alston coming to the sideline, stopping, and Welsh that time just threw the ball. Maybe tried to throw it a little too hard. When you're throwing out routes, it's much more important to throw it on time rather than with a lot of velocity. If you throw it on time, you're going to make a lot more completions than if you just try and throw it so hard and get it there.
Here's a look at the third down conversion tonight. Western Michigan only 1 out of 7.
Well, you wonder why the score is 10-7 with only one offensive touchdown when you see that third down conversion. That's no wonder at all.
Ray can't get him. Welsh trying to elude Wendell Bryant, does, and picks up the first down. A big scramble for Welsh. He probably ran about 30 or 40 yards to pick up that couple for the first down, but it doesn't matter. He's got it.
But he does a nice job of keeping his eyes down the field. Here you can see man-to-man coverage. It's zone coverage, and the defensive back staying with the receiver, knowing that that's the guy that's open. Roger Knight, the outside linebacker that is, staying with him instead of coming up for support. He knows he's got other people there for support. Welsh does a nice job keeping his eyes down the field, knowing that if no one's there, then tucking it and going. And Wendell Bryant, you got to make that tackle.
Welsh has slipped through Bryant's hands a couple of times tonight. 1st and 10 at their own 45. This one tipped away, or it looks like it was thrown a little bit behind Bush.
You know, Craig, big plays don't always have to be interceptions or fumbles or touchdowns. They can be the Doring stop of a game-saving or a touchdown-saving tackle that comes back to be a huge play. They can be the Jeff Welch, pick up the first down, keeps the drive going. But you make enough of those big plays and they add up. And right now the Badgers defensively need to come up with another one of those big plays.
And so far the key on this drive is the run by Welsh to elude the tackle. 2nd and 10 at the 45 now. This one complete to Micah Zula. Gain him about 4.
You know, you wonder why the receivers can block downfield while the ball's in the air. As long as the ball is caught behind the line of scrimmage, it's okay to do that. So when you see these receivers release and come down and block on those defensive backs, the reason they're doing that is Zul's catching the ball behind the line. It's a good play.
3rd and 6. The defense asked for some help from this large crowd at Camp Randall. Ball's at midfield. Welsh to Neal. Great footwork. Picks up the first down out of bounds inside the 40 at the 37. Steve Neal showing you why he's an All-American candidate.
Boy, you talk about big plays. This doesn't look like much. Welsh has plenty of time, throws the ball, and it's hard to touch this guy in a hallway when you can't get him. You've got him pinned into the sideline right there, yet he turns it into a nice gain, keeps the drive going on a key 3rd down.
11 first downs now for Western Michigan. 7 via the pass. 2:10 to go in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 at Wisconsin's 37. Welsh fakes the handoff, eludes the tackler. And this one he throws out of bounds for safekeeping.
Nice play by Robert Sanford, the running back. He's got his eyes downfield. It's a draw fake, so he's got to be there for the play action. But yet he sees the rush coming, comes off of the fake, and saves a sack. Watch him. He's got his eyes downfield, sees the rush coming, and comes off. Pass is still incomplete, but you save a 7 or 8 yard sack and maybe a fumble if Welsh gets hit from the blind side.
2nd and 10. And flags down on the play. Movement again across that line of scrimmage. Looks like Wisconsin jumped early. Sanford, though, picks up about 6 yards on the carry. They're sure to take the penalty in the down.
I think so. You save the down, you take the penalty, and now you're going to have a 2nd and 5 instead of a 3rd and 4. If you're Jeff Welch, the first thing you're thinking here is field goal. We need to make sure you get 3 points. That ties the game. You want to be careful with the ball. When you get in field goal range, and they're going to be close right now, you don't take a sack, you don't be careless.
Let's go 2nd down.
You don't be careless with the ball. You throw it away. If it's not wide open, you get it into a safe area. 3 points, then think 7 points.
Jeff Welsh taking over for Tim Lester. And Welsh, as a starter in high school and briefly in college, has never lost a game. Sanford spins. Can't elude that Wisconsin defense up front. Bryson then to make the tackle.
Looked like the Bronco offensive line kind of relaxed when the Badgers jumped. I think they felt they were going to be offsides again. They were not. And good penetration that time by the Badgers. You're right in that borderline right now for Western Michigan. Are they in field goal range? What kind of chance do you take? Although I do think it makes it a little easier for Gary Darnell. He's been down here and moved the ball offensively. This isn't necessarily a do or die for them. He's got a feel they're going to be down here again.
That's a good point. Only down by 3. 3rd and 7. And a handoff to Sanford, picks up a couple. And that realistically would set up about a 50-yard field goal if they decide to go that route.
I think it was a good call to try and not give up a sack, not have something happen to a quarterback making one of his few starts that he's made. So they put Sealant in a decent position now to kick this and maybe tie this game up.
And it will be officially marked at the 39, making it a 49-yard field goal attempt to tie up this game. Kick on the way, and no good. Short it looks like, and a little bit wide. So the score remains Wisconsin 10, Western Michigan 7.
Just a little bit wide there. It looked like he had enough leg, possibly by maybe a yard or two, if it had been straight. Just doesn't quite hook in enough, does it?
That's right, never hooks in for it.
But you do find out one thing, he's capable of making it. Or at least he's capable of getting it there. Maybe not capable of making it, but he's capable of getting it there.
Well, you got to get it there to have a chance to make it. So.
Step number 1.
And he can get it there. Had a 56-yarder against Central Michigan a couple of seasons ago. As Wisconsin takes over on offense, Chad Coons gets the ball, maybe about 3.
94 Hinder.
And that will mark the end of the 3rd quarter here at Camp Randall Stadium. Same as it was at the end of the 2nd quarter. Badgers 10, Broncos 7. We've got the final 15 minutes coming our way from Camp Randall Stadium.
Here's what you've been waiting for. Denoyer Chevrolet's closeout blowout. Save $3,000 on a Venture minivan. Save $6,000 on a new Silverado extended cab pickup. Hurry, take advantage of the closeout blowout at Denoyer Chevrolet, Kalamazoo.
Al Gore and George Bush, 2 very different prescription drug plans. Al Gore provides prescription drug coverage to every senior in America directly through Medicare. George Bush forces seniors to go to HMOs and insurance companies for coverage. And Bush leaves millions of middle-class seniors with no coverage at all. The Gore plan, prescription drugs for every senior through Medicare. The Bush plan, prescription drugs through HMOs and insurance companies. And for millions of the middle class, no coverage. 2 plans, a big difference.
99 hammers right here on the wall. 99 hammers right here. Pick one out, swing it about. 98 hammers right here on the wall. 98 hammers right here on the wall. 98 hammers
The
right
new
here.
tool territory at Sears. A huge assortment of tools from more than 100 top brands.
Hey, let's do needle nose pliers.
Tool territory at Sears, where tools rule.
Here's what you've been waiting for. Denoyer Chevrolet's closeout blowout. Save $2,700 on a new Cavalier. Save $2,400 on a new V6 Malibu. Hurry, take advantage of the closeout blowout at Denoyer Chevrolet, Kalamazoo.
Well, the house is a-rocking here at Camp Randall Stadium thanks to the students. Wisconsin's football team just clinging to a 3-point lead over Western Michigan as we enter the final 15 minutes of this 2000 season opener. Great Thursday night crowd on hand. I mean, this press box is shaking a long ways away from those students. And once again, flags along the line of scrimmage. And it's going to go on to Wisconsin, it looks like.
Prior to the snap, dead ball, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Well, Barry Alvarez, you can tell, you can see the frustrations. 9 penalties. The yardage isn't mounting up much, but it's just enough to take them back out of their rhythm.
And it stops drives. It may not be a field position turner, but it stops drives, which causes you to give up the ball. And with the poor pass protection, now you got to face a 2nd and 12, almost a sure passing situation.
Bennett takes the handoff and gets about 3, so it's going to be 3rd and long now, 3rd and 9.
And Western Michigan will let them do that all they want. If they want to run the draw, though it worked for them the last time, sometimes those trick plays don't work if you run them too close together. You fool the defense once, their memory is good enough to remember it. If it was 2 series ago, if it's first quarter, that's different. Michael Bennett, one of the questions that you have, how's he going to hold up? That was his 20th carry tonight. His career high before tonight was 13. Hot night. Well, how's he going to be able to hold up? And we see he's coming off now getting a break.
Eddie Faulkner into the game along with Bollinger down in the backfield. Here comes that rush. Bollinger pass complete. Conroy White stays on his feet as he cuts back towards the middle of the field and down at the Bronco 42-yard line. That's probably the biggest pass play of the night for Bollinger, getting out of the pocket, Randy.
Well, I think it's big in that it extended the drive, and this is the difference you see with Bollinger and Jeff Welch. The play breaks down. Bollinger looks downfield, can find something that is a mistake in the secondary and make something happen. Jeff Welch can't do that yet.
Pickup of 24 yards for Wisconsin. Sets up 1st and 10 inside Bronco territory. And off to Bennett, stretches it out left side, finds a hole, and a pretty nice gain of 5 yards.
You know, Bennett hits that so much quicker than Ron Dane did last year because of his speed. Dane would kind of sit and pick it, and then he'd go, whereas Bennett has one speed all the time, and it's full throttle. Sometimes you need to have some patience to let that develop, and I think that's something Bennett will learn as he goes along. I think he has it right now.
2nd out and 5. Bennett again to the left. 1st down, Michael Bennett, gain of 6. So he's chipping away at that Bronco defense. You can sense a little sparked by Wisconsin's offense.
Well, I think the Broncos felt they had the Badgers stopped on that 3rd and 9, and they had a pretty good pass rush, and Bollinger makes a play, and now they get some new life. And maybe, as you said, one of the bigger plays the Badgers have had offensively tonight, maybe that's given them a little spark.
Bennett 4 yards shy of that century mark. 96 yards and 22 carries. 1st and 10 at the Bronco 31. Wisconsin leading 10-7. Eddie Faulkner with the football. Gains maybe 2 just inside the 30-yard line.
Craig, the college game is played with so much emotion that this Bronco defense knows they've stopped the Badgers when they've gotten down here before. So they have some confidence that they can do that. And the Badger offense has got some question marks. They haven't been able to finish off drives and get points like they should. So I think this defense, you've got to ask them, how much do they have in there? And somebody from Wisconsin has got to make a play like Bollinger did a couple plays ago.
And we have a timeout on the field. Wisconsin calls timeout. It's 2nd and 8 at the Bronco 29-yard line, and they don't want to make any mistakes here because that offense has not produced anything but a field goal so far. And we'll take a timeout on the field as well. Again, the Badgers with the ball and clinging to a 3-point lead. 12:05 to go in this game from Camp Randall.
In anticipation of your runaway success as a Wall Street Journal reader, how to blend in with normal people. When in public, walking a pet can help you blend in. A tip on being madly successful from the Wall Street Journal, full of insight on making it big. Subscribe to the Journal for just 57 cents a day for 13 weeks, 25% off the regular rate. The Wall Street Journal. Call 800-249-8900. That's 800-249-8900.
On the go, school, work, busy life? Better catch the Express. Centennial Express, prepaid wireless phone service as low as 20 cents a minute. Call from anywhere to anywhere. You'll know what's happening and where it's happening. Get connected with Centennial Express prepaid wireless phone service. No contracts, no bills, no surprises. It's prepaid. Centennial Express from Centennial Wireless, your big area, small price wireless phone company.
This is a Fox 17 News at 10 update.
It's been nearly a year since 4 teenagers forced another classmate to have sex for money. Today, they learn their fate. Find out what they had to say about their actions in court. And they're learning how to make the transition from school to work. Find out how on Fox 17 News.
Wisconsin leading Western Michigan 10-7, looking to extend on that lead, though, as they are now down to the 29-yard line of Western Michigan. We are in the final quarter. The fifth-ranked team in the country is trying to avoid being upset here in the season opener. Bennett carries it again, maybe a gain of 4. He sets up about 3rd and 5.
I think that's why the Badgers called that timeout. Bennett was tired. He just carried the ball 4 or 5 plays. He came out. Eddie Faulkner went in there, didn't have a lot of success, and they wanted to get Bennett in the game and give him a chance to do that.
When we talked to offensive coordinator Brian White yesterday, he said that he wants to give Bennett the ball at least 20 times, more towards 30, and it looks like they're getting up near that number now.
And they want to continue to do that with positive yards. They're not going to do it just to give him the carries. They want to do it when he's picking up 4 or 5 yards. This may be his best drive of the night, as he's had a lot of good plays.
Big 3rd and 5. Bollinger finds Evans over the middle. First down at the 15-yard line.
Nice play by Bollinger, again on the scramble, but keeping his eyes down the field. And when you're going against a zone defense, if you've got some room in front of you, keep your eyes down the field and somebody will flash in front of you. And that time it was Evans. Evans makes a big play. Nice job by Evans, not running with the quarterback. Just stay stationary. Let the defense run. The quarterback will find you if you're standing where you're at against a zone. Man-to-man, just the opposite.
He's one of only 2 true freshmen a year ago to see action. Chad Coons takes the inside handoff and gets about 4 up to the 11-yard line.
Same thing holds now for Brooks Bollinger that we talked about with Jeff Welch. You need at least 3 points out of here. Put yourself in a position where Western Michigan's got to score a touchdown. Don't let them tie you with a field goal. Be careful with the ball. You don't change the count up down here. You stay on a rhythmic count so your team doesn't jump, and just keep them moving forward.
2nd down and 6 from the 11. Conroy White in motion. Bennett takes the handoff, dives ahead inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line. That puts Bennett over 100 yards on the game.
This is where Barry Alvarez and the Badger offense really like running the option. Down by the goal line, 2 or 3 yards to go. Bollinger's ability to do that, if that's the play, you've got to stop the penetration at the line of scrimmage. At least give Bollinger the corner in order to make a decision whether to pitch or keep.
Bennett 102 yards carrying the football tonight. 3rd and 3 from the 8. Bennett to the left. Does he find the end zone? Yes. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Michael Bennett using his speed to outrun the defense to the goal line.
Looked like he was headed to the outside from the first step. Whether he saw that or whether it was designed. He's going outside the whole way. Left tackle pulls, and it's clear sailing for him. Gets into the end zone.
Wisconsin's first offensive touchdown of the 2000 season.
Not only does that drive end in some points, it wears down that Western Michigan defense, but it also took a lot of time off the clock.
Lisetsky's extra point is good. That gives Wisconsin a 10-point lead. Last time they had an advantage like that in the first half where they were up 10-0. 5 minutes, 40 seconds off the clock. Michael Bennett caps it off with a touchdown. 9:31 to go. Wisconsin leads Western Michigan.
No other weekly financial publication moves the markets like Barron's. It provides the knowledge, insight, and foresight that allow you to stay one step ahead. Subscribe now and you'll also receive this Barron's Stock Evaluator free. It lets your computer help you turn money into wealth. Get 13 weeks of Barron's and the Stock Evaluator, all for only $39. Call now toll-free 800-334-6600. That's 800-334-6600.
The Broncos invite you to be a part of our football family.
Our coaches and student athletes are committed to making a difference in West Michigan. Community service is our way of thanking you for your support of the Broncos.
You can't have a championship caliber program without championship caliber fans. I want to thank you for the support that you've shown us, and I want to invite you to all the excitement that will be here in the year 2000.
Season tickets give you a great seat at every game for just $65. Join us at Waldo Stadium.
One store, one chance, one sale. Art Van's Labor Day sale this Friday and Saturday. Only Art Van could bring you all this. Store-wide savings up to 70%, plus 0% interest for 2 full years. And we'll pay your 6% sales tax. Everywhere you look, you'll find savings up to 70%. There's only one place where you can save so much and get 0% interest for 2 years. Plus, we'll pay your 6% sales tax. Art Van's Labor Day sale this Friday and Saturday.
Here's a look at tonight's Menards game summary. Wisconsin leading by 10 on the scoreboard with 9:31 to go in the fourth quarter. One of the key plays for Wisconsin on special teams, Josh Hunt, the 89-yard punt return for a touchdown in the first half. Wisconsin's offense scores its first touchdown moments ago as Michael Bennett scoots into the end zone. Lisetsky, the kickoff, looks like it could be returnable, and it will be for Rashad McDade. And he's in trouble. Ryan Marks brings him down at the 4-yard line. There is a flag down on the field.
4-yard line, flags on the play.
And we've seen a lot of those little yellow deals running around this Camp Randall turf. And it's against Western. 16 penalties called in this game.
Legal block in the back. Receivers. Half the distance to the goal line. First down.
McDade getting some instruction from head coach Gary Darnell.
Lisetsky did a nice job of putting that ball in the corner. And generally, if you can directional kick off like that and pin somebody in the corner, you eliminate a third of the field because it takes too long for McDade to run it all the way over. He tried to do it, but it was too far.
This is about as far back as Western Michigan's offense has been pinned. Starting out at their 4. And it's going to be a safety for Wisconsin. Looks like Kawaji's got in there first. Tack 2 more on, and Wisconsin now with a 12-point lead at 19-7.
We talked about the furthest back they had been. It was the loudest the crowd had been. And if you're going to sprint out to one side and pull up, you've got no protection on your backside. Your coaches will tell you, if you're going to pull up, throw the ball. You can't pull up and hold on to it because your linemen think you're either gone or the ball's gone.
Wisconsin's defense in there in a hurry. So 9:18 to go, and the free kick is going to give the ball back to the Badgers.
With a 19-7 lead and getting the ball with what should be pretty good field position, you'd think Wisconsin would like to continue to work on that running game. Whether it's Michael Bennett, give him some more carries, or maybe you give Eddie Faulkner a chance, because we know Bennett's going to have to be out one game. So you're going to have to give somebody else a chance to get in. Now Faulkner's going to be out one game, but I don't think Barry Alvarez would feel comfortable going into a game knowing Michael Bennett's going to be out with the inexperience he's got at that backfield position right now. So I think they will try and give somebody else more carries and continue to work that running game.
And speaking of those two running backs, they're both back to receive this kick from Brad Salent. Kick it off from the 20-yard line. Bennett will get his chance, takes it at the 11. Bennett stays on his feet up near the 40-yard line. So good field position for Wisconsin. They'll take over from their own 39.
Michael Bennett has carried the load here in this fourth quarter, hasn't he, Craig? He's carrying the ball from the backfield. He's been on kickoff returns, and he's looking a little better as the game has gone on, not necessarily looking that much more tired.
Sometimes that'll do it, won't it? You get better as the game goes.
Or what's happening is Western Michigan's getting more tired. You're staying the same. They're getting tired.
Well, Wisconsin's offense looking a little bit more ball control in that last series. Right now they have about a 10-minute advantage overall.
Michael Bennett, the ball
and
carrier.
Bennett carries again, gets about 4, maybe 5 yards.
Now, the 4 or 5 yards that he's getting now doesn't look like much, but it's 2 or 3 more than he was getting for 2.5 quarters. So that line is coming off the ball. I think they've successfully worn down this smaller Western Michigan defense, and Bennett's running a little bit harder.
Matt Unerto will check into the Wisconsin lineup at the tailback slot, his first appearance of the 2000 season. He gets the ball. Nice cut up the middle. About a yard shy of the first down.
One thing with Matt Unerto is you may not get the speed of a Michael Bennett. You may not get the flash of some of the better-known backs, but he's very consistent. He's going to give you sure hands. He's going to hit the hole. He's going to pick up the blitzes, and you know what you can count on. And that's what a coach likes about a player. I don't want any surprises. I want you to be consistent. I want to know what I can count on from him.
Matt Unerto, the former walk-on from Sussex Hamilton. 3rd and 1. Kuntz gets the handoff and pulls forward for about 5 inside Bronco territory.
This team has done a tremendous, really this program has done a tremendous job of taking walk-ons, turning them into players that contribute and sometimes star at their positions.
Well, it's interesting. There are 4 former walk-ons out of the Wisconsin program playing in the NFL for the season opener coming up this weekend. It would have been 5 if Chad Cascadden hadn't suddenly retired. Playing for the New York Jets, Joe Panos, Mark Tauger, Donnell Thompson, and Mike Schneck, all former walk-ons.
And you look at a Mark Tauger, that was a walk-on, a 7th-round pick that sticks. But you look at a Joe Panos, he was a major contributor to the first Rose Bowl team under the Alvarez era.
Started out at UW Whitewater and then walked on at Wisconsin, thinking you could have a chance, and did.
I think when you have a good program, people want to come and be a part of it. And I think the limit that they're putting on the walk-ons will hurt the Badgers because they won't be able to take as many as they have in the past. And I think they've had such a success with that I think that will hurt them more than it has or will some other teams.
Michael Bennett has equaled his career high for yards, 114 on 26 carries. And it looks to improve on those numbers now. Back in the lineup, 2nd down and 10 at the 47. To his left. had about 1 or 2 guys to beat there. He would have seen the end zone, knocked out of bounds about the 40.
I think it was very important that Bennett play tonight. One of the players that will be suspended for 1 game. Don't know at this point when that will be, but I think he needed to get on the field and get some game action. Didn't have a lot coming into it. He's going to be the guy that's going to have to carry this offense along with Brooks Bollinger if this team is going to be competitive in the Big Ten and for the national championship. And you can play him for 1 or 2 games, get him on game film, and then you can teach him. You can correct the mistakes and let him sit maybe down the road.
Again, 47 Badger football players face some sort of disciplinary action from getting discounts from a local shoe store. 11 players are going to be suspended for 3 games, 15 more for 1 game, 21 others will face some community service work for a 24-hour span as the Badgers come up short there, 4th down just inside the 40-yard line. And this all must be served and taken care of during the first 4 games of the season.
And fortunately, there's only 1 conference game, and that's against Northwestern. Fortunately for the Badgers, it's not the next week where it's Michigan.
And all 4 of those games are all here at Camp Randall Stadium, so the schedule certainly favors as far as that goes. A little bit anyway.
But there will be some problems because the Badgers have some players that will be out for 3 games if they play the same position.
And we'll talk about some of those after the 39-yard punt goes into the end zone for the touchback. When we come back, 4:54 to go. Western Michigan not dead yet, only down by 12. When we come back to Camp Randall.
Hi, I'm Phil Mickelson. Everybody can use a good tip. Thanks, Phil. And I give my best tips only in Golf Digest.
Golf Digest is the golf magazine. Information on equipment, the best places to play, easy to follow tips, and instruction from the best teachers and players in the game.
Call 800-543-6200 and get your first issue risk-free. That's 12 issues for only $19.77, including this handy pocket tips booklet. Call right now and get this instructional video free.
I'm telling you, it's the best tip you'll ever get.
Chrysler cars and minivans are widely recognized for their style and engineering. And now during the Chrysler 2000 final clearance, get the biggest cash allowances of the year, up to $2,000 on cars. Or you can get over $4,000 in cash and finance savings on minivans. So it should be no surprise they're so well received. Only at your Chrysler dealer.
You can always borrow a truck and move yourself.
I can't believe you called him.
But he's an old buddy.
That you haven't seen in years.
So what? He's got a truck, and that's all I care about.
Or for just a few dollars more than renting a truck, you can call the Movers Who Care. 2 men and a truck. You can always borrow a truck and move yourself.
Now do you believe me? I told you we could make it all in one trip.
Or for just a few dollars more than renting a truck and doing it yourself, you can call the Movers Who Care. 2 men and a truck.
Well, you know, you're in Wisconsin. It's either cheese or beer on the head, right, Randy?
I hope he's not in med school.
Saw one of the Western Michigan players being taken off the field quickly there. Not quite sure who that is at this point. Welsh under heavy pressure. Throws this one away. Nowhere to go there with Wisconsin's defense up front.
Well, they pretty much have their ears back and coming, knowing now that Western Michigan is in a passing situation almost every down. And with 4 minutes, 47 seconds to go with this offense, they move the ball down there. This game isn't over, but you also want to be careful if you're Gary Darnell that if it is not going to work out for you, you don't just go back and throw the ball with a hope and a prayer. You don't want to get players hurt. You got a big season coming up, and they've got a good program there. So by no means do that right now, but that's something he was thinking about coming into this game.
Injury is always a key, as you mentioned off the top, and then they go to Iowa next week to play. Another Big Ten school. Welsh back to pass. That one is complete. To Kendrick Mosley.
speaking of Western Michigan playing at Iowa, that'll be a good test for this team because they will have a lot of bumps and bruises from this game that they'll have to recover and go back and play what could be another physical game against a team that's bigger than them in Iowa. Iowa's not as good as the Badgers, but it's going to be harder to play that being a physical game also, coming off of a very physical one.
Tell you what, it looked like they were going to get blown out against Kansas State in that opener last week and really held them in check for much of the game, as it turns out.
Kirk Ferenz may have things headed in the right direction.
3rd and short, and again, flags on the play.
Ball start, offense. 5-yard penalty.
Not what Western Michigan needs at this point. Now it's 3rd and long suddenly. Let's take a look at our Senex Superstat now. Penalties, of course, have been a large part of the game. We've seen those yellow flags all over the place. As far as Wisconsin is concerned, last season, 5.7 penalties a game for 50 yards, already 9 tonight for 60. And it's, again, we've talked about it several times. It's those little yards that just keep you out far enough.
They take you from 3rd and 8 to 3rd and 3, and that's a lot easier conversion.
Welsh the bomb, looking for Alston. And this one falls incomplete. B.J. Tucker there on coverage. Had him step for step.
B.J. Tucker did a nice job tonight filling in for Jamar Fletcher. Got the penalty early with the pass interference, but other than that, we haven't called his name a lot. He's done a pretty nice job. One of those players that I'm sure we'll hear Barry Alvarez say had to step up when called upon, and only a sophomore, and he has, I think.
He's going to need to step up for 2 more games as well, because Fletcher will be missed for at least 2 more games here out of the next 3 coming up.
Could be 3 because Eccles has got to miss one also.
That's right. Good point. Hunt gets that ball up near the 35-yard line. I've liked what I've seen out of him. How could you? He returned a punt 89 yards for a touchdown.
Tell you what, he's returned it. He's been sure-handed back there catching the ball, and I think, once again, somebody gets hurt, steps out, he steps right up, takes the place.
Wisconsin leads this one 19-7. We're coming back for the final 3.5 minutes.
Every day, AmeriDebt helps more people with money problems.
My credit card debt was outrageous. Then I called AmeriDebt. They contacted my creditors and got my payments almost cut in half.
AmeriDebt is a nonprofit organization that offers free consultations to consumers seeking to eliminate their debt.
Every month I pay our credit card bills, but the balances never seem to get smaller.
AmeriDebt got our interest rates reduced, and now the balances are dropping dramatically.
Call 1-800-652-4500. AmeriDebt, helping America get out of debt.
We at GMC are proud to sponsor the U.S. Olympic athletes who, like us, have worked to achieve higher standards. And now, during our GMC U.S. Olympic Countdown, get up to $2,000 cash back on select 2000 Sierras, $2,000 back on Sonomas, and up to $2,500 back on select Jimmys. Great cash back offers on trucks built with the dedication that make them professional grade. Because when you're committed to what you do, it shows in the results. Visit your local GMC dealer for the GMC U.S. Olympic Countdown.
Peanut butter and jelly on white with crust. Peanut butter and jelly on white with no crust. To kids, this is variety. But you've grown up. You want real choices for your money. Like Arby's $5 Value Roundup. Choose any 2 chicken sandwiches, 3 beef and cheddars, or 4 roast beefs for just $5. So hurry in and you'll get the kind of change you really like. The $5 Value Roundup. Only at Arby's. Now that your tastes have grown up.
3:28 to go in the 4th quarter. Wisconsin has a 12-point lead. Open things up just a little bit here in the 4th quarter against Western Michigan, and hope it's enough to claim the first victory of 2000. They've got the football, giving it back to Michael Bennett. It looks like he picks up another 3 yards.
Trying to give him just as many carries as they can to get him toughened up, see what he can do, build up his endurance. And I think, as we talked earlier, Craig, he's looked better in the last 1.5 than he did in the first 2.5. And I think some of that, though, is that offensive line is just worn down, this Western Michigan line.
And the Badgers' next game here on MSC coming up in a couple of weeks against Cincinnati. It'll air at 6 o'clock here from Camp Randall Stadium. It's Wisconsin and Cincinnati, Saturday, September 16th at 6. MSC, your ultimate sports connection.
Think Wisconsin will be ready for that one this year?
Tell you what, they'll never dodge the bullet on that game.
Nor should they.
Yep. It was brought up before this game, and when you have the non-conference schedule like this, it's going to be brought up for years.
Sure, and I think that it's something that a lot of these players will keep fresh in their memory.
2nd down and 7. Clock reads 3:21. The handoff gets up near the 40-yard line.
Michael Bennett, the ball carrier.
Gain of 3 more.
Number 37, Allsbury with the stop.
So Michael Bennett continues to carry the load.
Gain of 3 on the
with
way.
3:13 to go. Are the Badgers thinking safety here? Keep your starters in at this point?
Well, I think that they have a lot of their starters in. They want to work on the running game. They haven't been happy with the way their offense has performed tonight. Really just one good drive for a touchdown. And that's a lot of that was Brooks Bollinger making some plays on poor pass protection where he's scrambling around finding a 2nd and 3rd receiver. So I think they want to try and get some kind of confidence coming out of this game that the running game is what's going to carry them. Ryan White told us yesterday, coming out of this game, I want people to leave thinking that we have the same confidence in the running game that we had with Ron Dane. And it's not going to change. They may be different types of plays you run, but we're going to win the Big Ten and or the national championship based on our running game, and we have the same amount of confidence and success. And I got to think right now, that's not the feeling they're going to have after this game by any means.
And they don't have all the key players on the field, top to bottom, that they would prefer to have on there, especially looking at that left tackle spot where Ben Johnson will be gone for a 3-game stretch. And so will his backup, Josh Jakubowski.
With the carry.
I should say he will miss 1 game at some point. He did start tonight, making his first career start. And there is Jakubowski there, the senior out of Schofield. High expectations for him early in his career, and he's finally in a spot right now where he can make some major contributions to the club.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes when someone's gone for 3 games, you step up, you never give it back.
And here's a look at the penalties Wisconsin is facing because of a heavy amount of players getting some discounts from a local shoe store, up to 47 players facing sanctions. But some of the keys, 15 players, the 1-game suspension, 11 more face a 3-game suspension. Among them, Nick Davis, who's not playing tonight, Jamar Fletcher, Chris Chambers, also facing a 3-game suspension. Jakubowski
and
also
Johnson
actually faces that 3-game suspension as well, not just the 1. So he's going to play tonight and obviously won't be seen in the next 3 weeks.
Well, that's going to be a big hole to fill for these Badgers with Johnson and Jakubowski both gone for 3 games.
And as far as who Brooks Bollinger's throwing to, he's used to throwing to Chris Chambers and Nick Davis. And Chambers we knew would not be there because of the foot injury early in camp. But Nick Davis was supposed to step up and be the go-to guy.
Well, I think that fortunately, they may not play some of the competition they'd face in the Big Ten where you've got good cornerbacks that could really have an effect on you. So I think at least in tonight's an indication, it's not the receivers that's the problem, it's the pass protection.
And they put 2 new starters at the left tackle spot and the right tackle spot. Chris McIntosh out of that left tackle spot. 50 career starts at Wisconsin, the most by any other player. But that interior line is solid coming back.
Solid and good. Receivers have played well tonight. I think Lee Evans did a nice job, and then Conroy White stepped up and made some plays, did a nice job. So I'm not that concerned with that position, knowing the schedule as I would be with the pass protection coming from all 5 of the offensive linemen.
Welsh gets the pass off and complete for first down, and this one to Bush. 2:53 to go.
Western Michigan in their hurry-up offense, not thinking this game is over by any stretch. And though we haven't seen many of the big play potential that they have shown in the past, we haven't seen that tonight. They know that they can make something happen, and with the clock stopping in college ball with first downs, anything can happen, and they're not giving up.
Well, they've already used all their timeouts to get as much time remaining on the clock as they can.
But they're figuring they're going to throw the ball, and it's either going to be incomplete, which stops the clock, or they're going to catch it. It's going to be a first down, which stops the clock. So what would hurt them is the sack, where you have to bring your people back, then the clock keeps going.
And in that case, last case, Welsh just threw it into the ground knowing it wasn't going to get that.
And it stops the clock. Wisconsin, just keep the receivers in front of you. Make them catch it, tackle them in bounds.
Neal cuts it back inside. And gets knocked out of bounds at the 50-yard line. About 2 yards shy of the first down, so it'll be 3rd and 2 from midfield.
You know, Craig, here's also where you start looking at the Badgers. Their goal this year, national championship. Some publications have picked them #1. They give up a touchdown here, 19-14 ball game. You start raising some questions. Wow, you're a 33-point this, and you come in, and now you wind up only winning by 5. What game does that start playing?
There's a lot of games to play when it comes to the BCS, isn't there?
Well, you wonder when you're looking at the BCS and you're looking at trying to compete for what a lot of people expect your team to compete for. They're playing for a lot right now, though it may not look like it if you look at the game and the situation.
And that one incomplete. Mike Azul. Looks like maybe he got a hand on it, but that was about it. So 4th down now. This could be it for Western Michigan with 2:35 to go. Of course, even a run or a scramble, if they get the first down, stops the clock.
Correct.
Western Michigan, a big factor in the MAC conference last year, getting all the way to the championship game.
And they had to leave here with their head held high. They have played a very respectable game, much more so than what the Badgers thought they would get.
Bush wide open, catches the ball inside the 30-yard line. Knocked out of bounds by Joey Mose, and they'll mark it at the 28. Western Michigan 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions in this game. They tried that little sneak early in the first quarter and got it. And now this one.
And this is a good experience for their young quarterback, Jeff Welsh. He's a junior, but doesn't have a lot of playing experience. You let him run the 2-minute offense. You let him do some things against a very good, well-respected team like the Badgers, and this will help him grow as his season progresses.
1st and 10 on the 28. Welsh throws, connects. Pass play down to the 15-yard line, so another first down. Alston catches this.
Just a one-man pattern. Welsh breaks the pocket and comes out. One man in the pass route, and P.J. Tucker gives plenty of cushion. And by the time the ball gets there, Tucker can't beat it there, and nice catch.
Welsh spikes the ball to stop the clock with 2:13 to go. No timeouts left on the clock for Western Michigan, so obviously what they're hoping to do is punch it in the end zone and get the onside kick recovery.
Well, you get the ball in the end zone, and then you hope for a lucky bounce on the onside kick, and then you just take your chances. But you realize they use their defense, their timeouts on defense, because if you don't, then you stand no chance. And it's always easier to control the clock when you're on offense with the incompletions or the first downs.
Welsh back to pass into the end zone, and it looks like he overthrew his receiver. Maybe a little confusion on the route.
I think there was a little confusion, but he looked like he had Josh Bush much more open the inside route than he did Zool on the outside. It's always easier to see from up here. Badgers coming with the blitz. And there's the inside guy. Much more open than the outside guy, but good pressure by the Badger defense.
Boy, Bush was open over the middle.
Sometimes those things break a little later. You see it as a quarterback early. He looks covered. You then take your eyes to another receiver, and that's when he breaks open, and you've already taken your eyes off of him.
3rd and 10 from the 15. Welsh over the middle finds Alston. He's going to get in the end zone, but there is a flag on the play. And it's coming in the backfield, offensive backfield. And it's going to be holding on Western Michigan.
Nice little pass route and nice move by Alston after the catch to get in the end zone, but somebody holding up front. Interior pressure.
On the offense. 10-yard penalty in the previous spot. Repeat 3rd down.
Take a look. It looks like we see it. Jeff Henson, number 64. Like he had a pretty good grip on a Badger defensive lineman. Nice little move there by Alston.
Certainly was.
2-down territory here for Western Michigan to get the ball in the end zone.
3rd and 20 from the 25. They can get a 1st down if they get down to the 5-yard line. Pass over the middle, short to Mosley. Clock still ticking away, under 2 minutes now.
Same play that Western Michigan ran the previous one. This time it's zone defense. The previous play it's man defense. Quick crossing routes don't work real well against the zone. You need to have a man. They get strong.
4th and 17, 1:35 on the clock. And another flag. And is this movement on Wisconsin side or another false start?
I think we see the left tackle move for the Broncos. Should go against Western Michigan.
Prior to the snap, dead ball. False start, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
About 30 seconds went off the clock from the previous reception, and that's what they got. Frustrating for Coach Darnell. 4th and 22. And this one snapped over the head of Welsh. He's got to try to pick it up, and he falls on it near the 50-yard line. And with 1:20 to go and no timeouts left by the Broncos, that should seal the deal for Wisconsin.
Well, it was a nice stop. They're giving up a lot of short things, and Western Michigan not stopping or not giving up, still trying to come down and make something happen, and they're not going to do it tonight, but boy, they have a lot to be proud of and a lot to work on, and just a firm snap right through Welsh's hands. And as you said, you got to try and pick the ball up. It's 4th down instead of just fall on it, especially at this point of the game. But they've got a lot to be proud of and a lot that they can work on. I think Iowa's going to be a little more concerned watching this game film than maybe they thought they would need to be.
I would have to say so. So Brooks Bollinger in to down this football and have to do it again before the clock runs out for him. 70 seconds to go. And this was a tight ball game into the 4th quarter, and Wisconsin finally got a drive together offensively. Only scored 10 points on the offensive side. Special teams comes up with a touchdown, and then the defense gets the safety to equal 19.
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of speculation as to how much were the distractions off the field, how much did that take away from them, what kind of role is that going to play, and I think there's a lot of validity to that. But I still think that they have some serious concerns in their running game that they need to work out. And I think they will. I think that's the kind of team that they have. But I think that there are still some steps that they need to work on, and I'm sure they'll be the first to tell us.
So time closing out as the Badgers now will win the 2000 season opener. Have the extra days to regroup and figure out where to put players and where to sit them out here as they face the sanctions.
And the final score, Wisconsin.
But Wisconsin
19.
wins it tonight.
Western
The most
Michigan,
important thing is
7.
they get the W they were looking for in game 1. and win this one 19-7. Barry Alvarez returning to the Wisconsin sidelines in Madison for the first time in a long time as he was stuck up in the booth after knee surgery early last year. So not a lot of smiles down there, but they're happy to get the victory nonetheless. A lot of work left.
I think there's a lot of relief, and I think they dodged a bullet to where they had a lot of frustration, a lot of distraction. They realized they dodged a bullet, and I think they'll regroup and be much better prepared for Oregon next week.
Michael Bennett is our Hardy's star of the game. Some pretty impressive numbers. 30 rushing attempts for 128 yards, both career highs, and scored the touchdown to put Wisconsin out in front for good as they go on to win this one 19-7.
I think he really controlled that in the fourth quarter, too, when he needed to control the ball and needed to take some time off the clock. He was the one that they went to.
So Wisconsin's next game comes up September 9th against Oregon here at Camp Randall Stadium. So there'll be another test out of the Pac-10 for Wisconsin. Again, the final here tonight in the 2000 season opener. Wisconsin a winner over Western Michigan, 19-7. The Broncos move on to play Iowa coming up next Saturday. For Randy Wright, I'm Craig Kashan saying so long from Camp Randall Stadium in Madison.